and I'm joined by Solsky on commentary. How you doing tonight, Solsky?
Hi.
Some astute analysis, but thankfully the runners are underway. Sorry about the delay, but we are ready to go. And we'll see if anyone skips Blue Bryn. How do you feel about skipping Blue Bryn, Solsky?
Don't do it.
You want to let me know a little bit about why you shouldn't, or what we're even talking about?
All right, so there's two methodologies to the start of a SMZ3 randomizer. It is the way to go to link to the past first, and then there is a methodology to continue on in SM and check out Retro Blue Bryn for 2 items at Morph and at the E tank that would normally require high jump, but you can actually get the item with a damage boost.
Yeah, and we see these competing ideas. Kind of Team Fail Guys on the left is sending Lenophis down into Blue Bryn Star, whereas Stoop's product is splitting cross product and Jet between Link's House and Sanctuary. So we'll see if there is anything in Blue Bryn today. So far, just a missile for Leno.
Yeah, typical strategy is that if you find nothing in Blue Bryn, you just typically respawn back at ship and get back a little bit of a time rather than just make the climb.
And Leno going for the D-boost. Looks like he is going to keep Missile Pack plus Heart Container. I'm a little surprised by that. I felt like that was a reset combo.
I mean, it really just depends on people's what they feel comfortable with, and I guess a Heart Container is worth keeping for now in the early game.
And did you catch what was on that Lumberjack ledge there on Jet's screen?
I actually didn't.
It was the Quake Medallion. So that's kind of a little bit of like Schrodinger's Aghanim, unfortunately, where we don't know yet whether that's going to be required or not, but it might be an absolutely necessary thing. So we have sort of, what, somewhere a little less than like 4/9 of an Aga seed or something? Maybe like 30% Aga?
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see if it is required. Of course, medallions could be required for the dungeons of Mire and T-Rock if they are crystal dungeons, and if they do have that prerequisite of the medallion to open up.
And we have MetroidMst, whom I may call Shy Guy at some point. So if I do that, that's who I'm talking about. But we have Shy Guy in Blind's Hut starting the CAC sweep, and Leno over in Sanctuary. I wonder where he's going to head, if he's going to follow Shy Guy or if he's going to go somewhere else, like maybe Houlihan. Looks like he's headed for the Lost Woods. And Cross is doing the race game. I like this play.
Yeah, so we see Cross and Jet splitting up duties north-south. A little similar to how Leno and Metroid are doing, and sure enough, they find the Red Cane in Race Game. We also found Morph in Well as well.
Yeah, those are massive finds. Both Cross getting paid off for that blind race game, and Morph in Well. That's going to allow the teams to diversify pretty early. So what sort of stuff are you looking for in addition to Morph before you make that decision to go back over into Super Metroid?
So, well, first off, we find a sword in the tavern as well.
Wow.
Items I'm looking for. So I'm looking for quality of life items from Metroid, typically for a South Shore dip, just to kind of get more items under my belt. Looking for at least 1 pack of supers and maybe 1 or 2 packs of power bombs, aka peebs. Just so you can kind of make your route a little bit more efficient if you want to hit up the Bryn routes and the Bryn loop early on.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am on it too. I really don't like going over into Super Metroid without power bombs, or at least bombs of some sort, plus the super missiles I'll need to open the doors. And honestly, the more the better. And I don't think we've seen any power bomb packs yet. We have seen supers there from Cross Product in the bottom right chest in the front of Blind's Hut. Oh, there it is in the back, Peebs. So yeah, both critical types of ammo already acquired from just Blind's Hut.
So the reason why you want at least 10 power bombs going back into Metroid is that you'd have to actually start evaluating and either farming heavily to recoup your power bombs, or just skipping locations just because you're not gonna have enough ammo for the whole loop.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Really, there's a lot of value in the first, second, and third power bomb packs. The third one not only makes routing, especially that power bomb hungry part of the Brinstar loop, much easier, but it also enables you to crystal flash. And so, even though Varia is in the logic for all the heated rooms in this version of the randomizer, we might see runners elect to go there without it. And so crystal flash becomes a really, really valuable tool in those scenarios.
Indeed, we do see Metroid getting, looks like our first scout on the well area and also South Shore.
Yeah, and after Lost Woods Flippers, he might route this over into things like Hobo and even Zora's domain, so it'll be interesting to see how he, and it looks like Jet is the emissary to South Shore for Team Stoop's product, how they choose to route this region of the map. We may see one of them actually turn left and head over toward Desert, but I would expect them both to head for Mini Moldorm
Oh,
Cave.
where are you going, Cross? Oh, yes, he is. Okay, Cross is going to go right back to Metroid here.
And not surprised to see this at all. Metroid is item dense, and if you can just sweep out items at a high rate, you can just tend to find a lot of things. He's kind of banking on finding those extra power bombs or other items in Super Metroid that'll get him through.
Right, to kind of expand on like a location, for example, of what they might need to skip with only 5 power bombs would be the back of Gauntlet, and even Gauntlet itself, because you would need just about 4 power bombs, I believe it is, to get through to the Gauntlet 1 item, so they wouldn't be able to continue on or even get on their way back.
Yeah, with only 5 power bombs and no other items for accessing Gauntlet, they'd be able to find out the information on all 3 items, but would not be able to acquire and keep any of them. Ether Medallion at Bomb Teresa, though.
Yo, and Speed in Moldorm Cave. That's a big item as well. That's huge for Super Metroid early.
We might see Cross Product go right back for that. He's close to that portal back to the Fortune Teller, and that is a valuable enough item, especially for the Bryn Loop. But it looks like... Oh,
that's
okay,
exactly
I was going to say.
What he's going to do. Yeah, I would be very surprised if he didn't go back for that right away.
Yeah, I was going to be a little befuddled if he decided to pass on having Speed Booster for all this early Super Metroid.
Yeah, I mean, as you're working as a 2v2 team, there's going to be calls where you're like, okay, I can just route this in later. Speed, like 8 minutes in, is one of those things you do not want to mess around with. You want to go back and just eat the time loss and go grab it.
Yeah, it's costing him a few seconds here for the extra transition, but every minute he spends in Super Metroid with Speed Booster, aside from the ones where he's lamenting not having high jump boots because it screws with your jump height, he is gaining time, and so he's incentivized to go get that Speed Booster as soon as he possibly can. And wow,
nice Pearl.
Moon Pearl at the Hobo.
So Pearl, not as powerful as an item yet, just because our players do have flippers. Pearl, of course, would be a great find there without flippers, just to allow them to sequence break Waterfall Cave. But with flippers, everything waterlocked is in logic, up into including Zora's domain and Zora himself right now.
Yeah, the value in Moon Pearl really decreases once you find flippers, but it is probably the most valuable single item other than maybe a sword for A Link to the Past. It's kind of the 2 spherical objects, Morph Ball and Moon Pearl, that you're going to be looking for early in a seed, and the fact that both of them have shown up this early, sub 10 minutes, we'll see where this one goes from here. It's not yet time to call it a jet seed or anything, but finding those 2 things early can really make life easy. It lets you diversify your team efforts.
Right.
And that's really valuable.
We get a lamp on Leno's side here at Terminator. Meanwhile, just kind of catch everyone back up. Cross is going for a speed here in Moldorm Cave. Jet is making his way, I believe, our first look into Escape. And I believe Metroid is going for Ice Rock Cave right now.
Yeah, and he's taken the water route, but can't swim up that waterfall. But yeah, this is the first look at front of Escape. Cross has his speed booster, so he's saving quitting and probably going to hard reset. No. Okay, there it is. I was going to say, I thought he was going to hard reset to the ship. That's a quick way to move from any point in A Link to the Past back to the ship in Super Metroid. And it's a very, very powerful movement tool.
Absolutely.
Probably the most powerful movement tool in this game to move from anywhere in A Link to the Past very quickly to the ship on the landing site.
So basically, to summarize that, is it kind of builds on your route. So where you can kind of take something to Link to the Past, rather than a saving quit or a lengthy travel around to another item, they can just reset the ship. In Cross's example here, and go right to the top right ship, Peebs. Just very, very smart use of the reset to start.
And we see Jet continuing from the front of the Escape toward Dark Cross. We know that is in logic because of the lamp at Terminator, but so far Jet and Cross Product have not yet found that, so this is a sequence break for them.
You see Cross like thinking about going to Terminator with only 29 health?
He wanted it, but I think he's going to take that refill and then spark up, and I think that spark costs about 60, and so he'll have 130 plus his reserve to work with if he sparks back up, and more if he wall jumps.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do, is he's going to set up for another one just so he can save the Peebs. But I don't think he's going to get through the whole thing with that much energy. We'll have to wait and see. I think he's really tight.
He already used a Peeb to open it up. I think this spark... Okay. I think the spark may cost him...
This is great. He's gonna... Oh no, he bonked. I was going to say, what he was looking to do there is he's going to use his reserve mid-spark to get back his energy. That's so sharp.
Yeah, that would have gotten him the whole way through. That takes about 230, I think. That was clever. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
And then, and that would have gotten him through all of Terminator there. Or, sorry, Gauntlet.
Yeah, and Zora Ledge with the mirror today. So, we have Mirror, we have Moon Pearl. We don't have any Dark World access, but we have a sword, a lamp. Have we found the cape?
No, we have not, but kind of get the chat working on how the logic of SMZ3 works. So with Morph Ball, Death Mountain itself is actually in logic. So with that mirror now, Hera isn't actually logic. They just have to get there through the Burn Loop or down Red Tower. And we see a Master Sword also in Pink Bryn now. Well, so we got that.
That is boots away from that Quake Medallion. I know chat's always really excited about Quake Medallion. And Hammer. Bryn Loop is loaded.
Pretty fun seed so far. You know, you just kind of go about your day and you find all the items. Pretty sweet.
And just an E-Tank and some ammo in the back of Escape. Or in the back of Gauntlet, rather, for cross products. So, well, it's there for everyone. But that's what he finds there. And so I think that he and Jet will likely just skip that. I think this is our first look at Sahasralla's HUD as well, but it's garbage for Jet. And Leno getting his Wavegate skip. Nice.
First try too. Yeah.
He's taken that 5 rupees too. He's like, I pulled this trick off. I want my rupees. Screw it.
So Wavegate is actually not required in normal logic as well, which is what the 2v2 tournament rule set is. In hard mode logic, not to confuse our crowd too much, is required. So in this one, not required, but still snazzy to see, and it does allow them to get an extra check out of the way very quickly.
And there was our third medallion, Bombos. At the back of early supers behind Brinstar Reserve.
I'm always a fan of finding early medallions. I don't know about you.
I don't mind them. I mean, it's nice. So here I would be a little irked by it because the third one is behind Aghanim Lumberjack.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I just happen to find all three of them and, like, cold have them by the time I'm, like, out of CAC, I'm usually pretty happy because it means I never need to bother to check things like Turtle Rock or Mire. I just know I can go right on in once I have a sword plus the other items I want. But here, knowing that Quake is at Lumberjack, that one's a little bit of a different feel.
Right, we do see Cross and Jet high-fiving red rupees there in both Eastern and at the, I call it the Gotham Pit. I don't know what the actual name is, but just because if you walk through it, then you get like sucked down and fall.
You definitely get got by that one. That's a pretty strong name for that pit, so let's go with the Gotham Pit. But I think it's just the various items at Edecoons. Everyone likes the animals enough. There's 3 items there. There's 3 Edecoons. Maybe 4. I don't know. I've never counted. There's at least 3. And they're gone. And we see Leno already over at Kraid, and Shy Guy just cleaning up Blind's Hut, getting his peebs. I think he was there earlier, but did not have the bomb to open the back wall and wanted to grab those power bombs. That is the only power bomb pack we've found so far.
Right, and it's a strong play for Leno to just go ahead and go for Kraid rather than farm and meticulously get doors open, just because it'd be very time consuming. So Kraid here is an extremely strong play, and then you can also route it to Death Mountain via the business center warp at the map room afterwards.
Yeah, he's got lamp, he's got sword, he's got hammer. He doesn't yet have mirror, unfortunately. And he's got Moon Pearl, so... Mirror was on Zora Ledge. I think we might see him save the old man, go get the mirror, and then go back and go right to Hera off of the upper Norfair exit.
Definitely see him doing that, yeah, for sure.
I think that's a strong play. And the Metroid...
What's Jet wearing? What's that suit?
Whoa, it's pink.
It's pink. So
I think
I guess he found it in Eastern.
If you press the C buttons on the controller, you can change the color of your Samus avatar, so you can fight with a different color, right?
And he's got like 15 peeves too. Wow. So Jet's gonna like fly through that. So Jet found gravity. I'm gonna assume in Eastern and some peeves to boot here. That's really, really good for him and Team Stoop's product early on.
Yeah, that early gravity find is actually massive. Not only is it going to keep cross-product from doing stupid things that he is wont to do, like go right to Meridia, but it's going to make Meridia that much faster. It lets both of them know what is in logic right now.
It just speeds up a lot of the game, not just Meridia, but even small points in the game like Rex Ship and making it a little safer as well with the damage reduction. It's just a great item to find early.
Yeah, and I see chat letting us know it was Zelda's chest in Escape that had that gravity suit. So that early play to the front of Escape, pretty big payoff there. Gravity suit, one of the best luxury items in Super Metroid, and it is required by the logic, although not strictly required to get the game complete. ScrewAttack in the wall by Kraid is also a nice find for Leno. That's one of those Super Metroid convenience items that just, I'm really happy to see it early, and as the seed wears on, I become less and less happy to see it, especially if I've already done Lower Norfair.
I was going to mention, ScrewAttack's one of those items that you want before Lower Norfair above all else. Anywhere else in the game, you can kind of get it around without it, but definitely shines in Lower Norfair the most.
Yeah, Lower Norfair has a bunch of narrow passageways and a bunch of enemies that hit really, really hard. And so being able to just spin jump through them, and whoa, Varia Suit. That is one that I'm surprised that the blue team didn't run across yet. I guess maybe...
I think it was Peebs, that's why.
Yeah, I think Leno maybe didn't farm up the peebs to get in and out, and that's a costly one, honestly.
So what it looked like happened was Cross specifically went down to the south and then farmed some peeps, I think, and then he would have had that.
Yeah, I agree with that play, farming the slugs in Waterway. I think they're 99.8% power bomb drops. And so all the enemies in this area that aren't fire fleas all the way back to the left at the Green Brinstar shaft, the room that Cross would prefer to call Pleasure Center because it's kind of an analog to Business Center in Norfair, a long vertical shaft that is the opening of the area.
I was going to say this is PG-13.
Well, shout out to crossproduct for removing Pleasure. Wouldn't do this if he wasn't a racer running.
Cross, please.
But he could farm fire fleas there and get power bombs, or he can farm the slugs in Waterway, which is what we saw him do. So yeah, Stoop's product has both suits, speed booster, and some amount of ammo. So they're in Super Metroid Go mode. So they're going to split Super Metroid and just tear through this game and then assess what they need to do about A Link to the Past later.
That is such a big advantage early on, honestly, having both suits over the team. Another team that doesn't have any suits, just because now, like I said, you can just split up SM and then you don't have to do kind of one-off checks in Link to the Past and just go for the value.
Yeah, like Cross, we could conceivably see him skip gravity for quite a while because he knows that Jet can, take care of those things. And I don't think it'll be too long before Fail Guys finds their suits. They're not particularly well hidden, although passing by the one in Bryn Loop is a little worrisome.
Varia, yeah, that's going to be a hard one to either remember or route back. So I believe it was Metro that passed on it. So it'll be up to Leno to go for it afterwards on his cleanup for it, if he already hasn't.
Yeah, we see Leno is doing that play up to Death Mountain, and I like that play a lot. Even though it's not going to give Varia Suit or Gravity Suit, I think that it's a really good play. I want to see him go grab his mirror and go for Hera. I would have wanted to see that ideally before that mountain climb, just to save the time a little bit, but I can get behind doing those early checks.
Yeah, honestly, in their position without any suits, this is a great play to just kind of flex on that mirror and the Death Mountain access and go for that.
Yeah, mirror is probably the highest value item they've found in an odd location. And so it makes sense for what they're seeing to push that advantage. And we see MST picking up his Ether Medallion, so now Fail Guys know where all 3 medallions are as well. And Cross showing off the power of that Varia Suit. You can take those big side hoppers right to the face with Varia, and also showing off a nice stutter 3-tap speedball there. So those side hoppers, the big ones, normally deal 80, and so they can be pretty big beasts early in the game and can kill you kind of out of nowhere. But with Varia, the damage is reduced to 20, so much less threatening. Jet has gotten his ScrewAttack and is going to go into Kraid. So second try Ghidorah kill. We'll see if he can get a first try Kraid quick kill here. And we'll see what is at Billy Mays. I don't think we've seen Billy Mays yet.
We have not. I'm actually curious to where Metroid's going at this point. If he goes right to Wreck Ship or if he goes west to back to Bryn Loop.
I do think I remember seeing Billy Mays actually. Someone had been here. Oh, chat's already calling me out and saying that MST had scouted this area. And Zora is burping at Lenophis. Yeah. Lenophis does not have the requisite 500 rupees.
Zora ain't having none of that. He's the master of the scheme and the and the games of playing with rupees. And he's like, yeah, you don't have the funds. No, I've been around here a long time. I'm not gonna play with that game today. So he's like, nope, no item for you.
Yeah, but Leno did get his mirror. So I would be shocked if Leno does anything but go right to Tower of Hera and Light World East Death Mountain. And, thankfully I think that's where he's headed. And right now, have we even gotten a Light World map check?
I don't think so, but
That's our first bottle.
Where is Metroid going? Oh, Red Tower. Okay.
Yeah. Upper Red Tower on the way to wrecked ship, maybe. Maybe he's just going to go down Red Tower. Although, Leno has kind of done the lower Red Tower stuff. It's not like he can do it X-Ray, so if he goes the whole way down Red Tower, that really kind of strands X-Ray. And if that turns out to be something, that would be pretty costly, because they've both kind of been through that part of the map.
So an E-Tank at High Jump, and we also found more Peebs and Spazer at the High Jump E-Tank itself.
Yeah, those Peebs are probably the best part of that haul. Although, Jet is actually pretty set on power bombs already. But I'm seeing that we did get a map check. Hera was the green pendant, so I think if I'm Leno, I want to do green pendant Hera here. And Eastern is one of the 5-6 crystals, so that means there's 2 pendants for the Dark World.
I agree. I think he will, but he's definitely entertaining East Death Mountain first.
Which makes sense. You could find something that makes Hera easier. You could find your Titan's mid or something that's absolutely distracting and sends you a different way, but I'd be surprised if he gets out of here without doing Hera. And it looks like MST is heading back up from Upper Red Tower, so this is good. And crossproduct might be beating him to wrecked ship if he can short charge here. So far, so good. And looks like he might be going for Ocean Fly. He got Ocean Fly and a Tempered Sword.
That's value right there.
That's some good stuff.
Cross honestly looks like he's having so much fun right now.
I would be. I mean, this seed looks like a blast.
Looks like I missed a couple of items there on Leno's side, but he did get wave out of that 7-chest cave there.
Yeah, and MST bonking the pedestal there, but does get his Master Sword out of it.
All right, Metro is just going to follow suit to wreck ship with Cross here.
Yeah, I think that he's a little low on health and only has the power suit, though, so I don't think he has the health for another fly here, so unless this is an E-Tank here in the ocean, we might see him conserve a little bit and just try and play it safe for his Phantoon fight, because Phantoon with the power suit, the body or the flames of Phantoon, each hit for 40?
No. See what Leno's setting up for?
Is this a hell run?
It's a hell run. That's unfortunate.
Maybe turning around at Frog Speedway? Maybe? No? Yeah, that's not required by logic, but can absolutely be high yield. We've seen previous instances where these not required sequence breaks have really paid off for runners just with the information that they gain behind them.
Yeah, at this point, honestly, I think the best thing that can happen to them is nothing in Norfair, just because it would eventually pull them back to getting that Varia and or Gravity. But if they do find more progression linked to the past, that just might steer them away from the suit forever. We'll have to wait and see, though.
I think if they're mindful of the logic, the more they find, the more it narrows down where the suits have to be. But yeah, if they push their sequence break, I think that if they find something that works out badly for them. And Cross is having an interesting Phantoon fight. He's setting up for Dopplers and tried to Doppler into the super there. A little tricky to get, but there he goes. Now Phantoon's dead and he has okay health, so now we get to watch MST's Phantoon fight, and hopefully he can muscle this one out, because with Power Suit, it's anything but safe.
60 energy per hit on those flames or Phantoon's body hits, and he's got like just reserve energy left plus 1 hit, so it's gonna be close for him.
Yeah, 40, but still, Phantoon hits really, really hard. And getting that slow opening might actually not be that unwelcome. It lets him farm a few extra flames. And the name of the game here with the low health, low resources Phantoon fight is just don't die. Like, no matter how long you spend in here, it's less time than it would take to come all the way back and redo the fight. And oh, he was not prepared for that right mid, but does have 200 health. Meanwhile, I don't think that Lenophis is finding anything yet in Norfair. We'll see what's here at Wavebeam. MST still has 4 hits to give. Well, now 3. Oh. Did he just enrage? Okay, I thought for a second the way it shook there, I think it might have been the stream stuttering. It looked like he went for some enrage strats.
Yeah, if he enraged, it wouldn't be that bad because he does have ScrewAttack, and worst case scenario, you can wall jump and morph around them. But yeah, definitely do not want to enrage with that low health.
Yeah, I see ScrewAttack is tracked. With him jumping without it, when did he turn it off?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I see it has been turned off.
What's ScrewAttack? I didn't mention anything about ScrewAttack.
So yeah, that would have been really dangerous to enrage Phantoon like that.
Would have been, but luckily he didn't.
Yeah, he's made it through safely, and so we're going to see him pretty much follow suit here with cross products in terms of sweeping out wrecked ship. He does have speed booster, so he is going to be able to full clear this area. It just might be a little less comfy. And in a strange sort of parallel structure for this run, we see Jet also doing upper Norfair to match Leno, and we're just going to see how much convenience these suits impart. Jet's just going to be able to tear through this area, and Leno's going to be bleeding health in all the heated rooms.
Cross really wanting to get that clip through the wall there, but couldn't get it, unfortunately.
Well, for Cross, going for that is especially risky, because if you beef it normally, you angle down and shoot the block out, and then just run through and beat the atomic. For cross product, he does not have an angle down button on his control scheme. So he cannot angle down, whereas most runners can. And so he was stuck just shooting forward and trying to roll and stay ahead of the atomic, and he did a very good job with it. But that is a consequence of him using his L trigger on his Super Nintendo controller as a dash button.
So I guess when he runs, it's just the arm pump and not arm pumping then?
I suppose so.
Got him. Alright, Blue Tunic here in Attic. And Jet is heading on his way over to check out Death Mountain as well right now for items.
Nice Attic Spark. Missing one of the atomics, but he is going to stop and farming it. Or stop and farm it. And we saw a little bit of a slideshow action from Leno there, but it was interesting because he was slideshowing as he farmed.
See what Cross has found?
No, what did Cross just find at that location?
Cross just found Space Jump. So Space Jump is at Wreck Ship Reserve. I can't see him skipping at this point because they don't have a quality of life jump option such as high jump to kind of get him around. So getting that space is definitely going to be a thing they want to do with Grav and Varia for particularly Norfair and Meridia coming up.
Oh, 100%. The question will be whether Jet decides that he wants to get that item. For cross product, he's already paid the cost and he's already going to check bowling, so he's going to go through this cutscene. But for Jet, it would have an extra cost because I think that and Blue Mail are the only things in Upper Wreck Ship so far.
I was gonna say the extra cost for Cross there would have been to farm for another power bomb, but he got the 2% there drop because he needs 4 power bombs to get all the way to that Norfair Reserve, and he only had 3.
You can do it on 3. From here, you can lay 1 to eliminate the statue, 1 to the right when you drop from bowling to eliminate the shot blocks.
Oh, you're right. He's got 1 on the right side.
1 to bomb on the way out. So you only need 3, unless. And I've run into this. You need to power bomb to check the speed item, so you can't check it without a 4th, without wave beam or something, but. To actually get it, 3 is the minimum. But the 4th one, that is a pretty god tier drop.
Yeah, again, 2% drop rate for power bombs.
Yeah, I've
a lot of enemies in the game actually.
I've spent quite a lot of time farming for power bombs right there in a situation like this, where I was really hoping that this location was nothing. And then it turned out to be something indispensable, and I was like, well, it's this or go back down and farm the bulls. It looks like Leno has farmed up and is ready to exit Croc, so we'll see where he heads from here. Oh, it looked like he was going for maybe sparking to Crumble Tower, but that is bold.
Cross. Oh, never mind. He did grab it. I was gonna say, is he not gonna grab that space? But yeah, he got it. It's okay. I'm awake, guys.
And Leno is doing the spark over here to check Crumble Tower. This is a bold play. Oh no! Okay. I thought he was going to like beef it and just completely miss the check then.
Yeah, nice recovery there for sure.
He did a really good job. Just a piece of heart, but it also gets him out of here. I won't say safe until the Diskegas there, or whatever the small side hoppers are dead, but now he's safe. He does have ammo to a Crystal Flash if he decides he wants to go do this ice check. I think that's probably the right play.
Definitely is, because then he can just reset the ship after.
But yeah, it looks like the Norfair check, like you said, you were kind of hoping it wouldn't do anything, and it doesn't seem to have really done much at all. Which can't feel good for fail guys right now, but like you said, I think it probably works out in their favor. And yeah, he's in a heated room, unfortunately.
Did he get the Scout device beam yet?
He did. He got to the location. It was just a shield upgrade, so he's doing okay. I wonder where his last save was. It looks like
It was
he has all his
right at the
E-tanks.
beginning. It was right at the beginning.
And did you see? Did MST scout the space jump? Does he know it's there? I mean, I have to assume he's going to get it, but he does only have those 3 minimum power bombs right now. So we'll see. He may or may not have ScrewAttack. Okay, it looks like he knows what he's doing. He's power bombing on the right side here, so he's going to get out of here with exactly 0 power bombs.
So it looks like Leno's going back for Croc area, so we might have missed something that he got that he wants again, versus just leaving it down here.
Yeah, and things have been just a little choppy, so sometimes it's hard to keep track of exactly what's going on, but we'll have to keep an eye and see what it is that's got him so allured to Crocomire. Crocomire is, a pretty attractive option.
Best side boss in the game. Yeah, much unlike that sideshow, you all know the one in Meridia. And no, I'm not talking about Botmoon. That other guy. Don't say his name. Don't do it, Michael. Don't say it.
We'll spend some time talking about that location here. I have plenty of hope that we'll play the digging game today. And Cross is going to go get his gravity suit, so he will also be fully suited up, and so I think that he won't be in this area for too long. And then once he's got that, we might see him go and make the play into Lower Norfair. Although he'd probably want to grab his ScrewAttack at Kraid first.
So that's what Leno wanted, was the Power Glove at Cosine.
Ooh. Yeah, that's...
So that gives him Dark World access.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's not good.
It is not good for them finding their suits, but it might give them boots or something that makes that escape check a little more palatable. I could see, because the items were all in the front of escape. I don't think we found map or the small key. And so if he goes and does back of escape off of that power glove, that might incentivize going to front of escape. I don't know. I'm trying to construct a narrative that gets them to gravity suit sometime very soon. Looks like MST's headed in a direction that will get him Varia very soon. And no sirring that E-tank. A little surprising. I think we'll probably see him grab it on his way out. He knows if he went over to grab it at that point, that it would have triggered the gate to come down. He would have had to reset the room, so this does save a couple door transitions. So I think it was a heads-up play, but we'll see. I know that MST doesn't tend to like too many tanks. He has a real antipathy towards some of them.
Yo, Silver Arrow's up there too.
Yeah, that Bryn Reserve, pretty good. Yeah, MST making the play that I thought he was. That's a good heads-up management of that room. Does save him 2 door transitions. And where is Leno going? He's headed back up Death Mountain. I don't think he's got, or if he has Cape, he might be doing Spike Cave. That could be a big play. Spike Cave is one of those locations that even if you're full clearing Death Mountain is a real pain in the butt to route. And looks like we have Ice Palace and Skull Woods as pendants. So
I think he's gonna scout out. Yeah, I think he's gonna scout out Hera here. Yep, he's going in. And Cross. Yeah, he's going for
hard.
X-ray. I thought he was on. I forgot he had space. I thought he was going for like some kind of super bomb or power bomb jump up to X-ray.
No, but I did pick up some cool tech from Cross that I saw him use in the Super Metroid Randomizer tournament last year, of inserting power bombs into a bomb jump sequence to kill the waivers in this room. And it's something that I've adopted and has made the room a lot less of a pain in the butt. So he's definitely comfortable with using his power bombs, but unfortunately, with his current item set without space jump, he still wouldn't have been able to get up there unless he spike suited or something. But looks like MST is going to also go find his missile pack over here at X-Ray. And so far, I missed the first part of Tower of Hera, but do see that map there. So we'll see if Tower of Hera has anything in the big chest or at Moldworm. Well, we might see. Hopefully we see. And yeah, this is Cross going to get his ScrewAttack. And so you know what this play is.
Yep.
This is the straight to lower Norfair speedrun.
Yep.
So I like this play a lot. With enough ammo and ScrewAttack and both suits and space jump, that's the coziest lower Norfair without high jump boots.
They're going to be a little tight on ammo for Ridley himself, so it'll be interesting to see what their ammo counts come out to when they hit that room. But other than that, yeah, it's going to be pretty free, even with 3 tanks plus reserves.
And Leno going for Hammer Moldorm here. Moldorm having none of this mallet, but only can juke for so long. Leno gets him down first try, and Cross gets his Kraid quick kill and a small key, so I think there's something in the basement here. And MST is going to finally go get that ScrewAttack. Thankfully, no Phantoons were enraged, or he would have really wanted this earlier. But we are going to get that Hera basement check. This is one of those things that you might see runners put off in 1v1 that are almost obligatory in 2v2. Just having the information about where items are and aren't is really, really important for teams. And, oh, he gets knocked off his pegs and gets put in baby jail, so now he's going to have to fight these tiles off.
Get those baby rages in chat.
And we'll see if Cross does anything else in Norfair. But yeah, these 2 early suits for Stoop's product, letting them divide and conquer, sending Jet and Cross to each of 2 different pain-in-the-butt regions of the Super Metroid map to really route it out for the other player. Where we saw Jet doing his Meridia, we're going to see Cross doing Norfair, and this is what 2v2 is supposed to be about. This is a really, really good division of labor. Unfortunately, Fail Guys are still suitless. And I guess also bootless. So, you know, things are going swell. But hopefully they find Gravity and Varia shortly.
Another day at the office.
This is pretty typical, except in normal mode, usually, because of how early those things have to show up in logic, because you just can't get to so many regions without them, usually it starts to get pretty alarming if 50 minutes in you haven't started to find some of the quality of life things like that. And so, with both suits and space jump, lower Norfair entry is in logic in normal mode. This isn't even a sequence break when cross product heads over that way, but we are going to see that Crocomire check first, which is going to give him it's going to give him his first glove, which will let him from the Mire area do Checkerboard Cave, which is behind the Power Glove. So what he finds down here, in addition to being hard required, is going to let him do extra checks when he goes down to Norfair.
It's gonna be a great check for the team too, for Cross and Jet, just because now with Jet at Dre, by the time Cross gets the glove, he can send the signal down to Jet to get his glove, and Jet can start checking out Dark World, Link to the Past stuff while he checks out Lower Norfair. So it's just gonna split up the team that much better now.
Yeah, getting the team split in such a way that you can really divide the progress in an equitable way is a really difficult thing to balance in 2v2, and early Morph Ball seeds tend to make it a little more possible, because A Link to the Past has more stuff that's kind of hard throttling progress, whereas Super Metroid's a lot more free. So you can have both players working A Link to the Past and then splitting Super Metroid, or sending one person over to Super Metroid when things get linear. And that hasn't even really been required, but it's just been a real nice seed for balancing workload. But yeah, it looks like MST also wants to go to Croc to get his Power Glove, because he knows it's there. Which I guess tells Fail Guys that their Varia Suit is not behind Titan's mid, at least.
I think that's why Leno's decided to go into Bolus Eastern, just to see if Varia is here. So that's a very big tell for them in the logic. So in normal mode, the only tech that's required for Super Metroid is infinite bomb jumps, wall jumps, and shine sparking. So no hell runs actually required. So with that information, now they know to kind of stay away from Dark World and try to hunt down that Varia.
Yeah, and I think after Eastern, we'll probably see that play to beginning of Escape, and that might send Leno into Meridia before he finds his Varia. But it looks like they're at least on the right track. And Cross Product in a minute is going to be getting his Power Glove and finding out where that first glove upgrade is for Stoops Product. But looks like Jet is already in Dark World. So gloveless Dark World is really weird, is what I'll say, because it so seldom comes up. Most players aren't really accustomed to it. Like, Catfish is behind a glove. Everything is behind a glove in Dark World, and at least I don't tend to realize it until I'm there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the neat thing about SMZ3 is that does open up some things that are kind of out the norm for both games on what items can kind of generate where, particularly on Link to the Past sides, to just utilizing those warp systems to get back in Link to the Past in scenarios that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. Like you mentioned, gloves are always required for Dark World. Same can happen for Mire. You can actually get there gloveless. And how many times have we seen Titans in Mire? That's like the perfect find, honestly.
That is like the quintessential crossover rando find.
Yeah, you were in that race when it was like Flute and Titans in Mire. That was the best one so far.
That was a pretty brutal one. It got me good.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, being able to go over there without a glove, which that's kind of what I was saying about Checkerboard Cave. You always, or at least for me, I always tend to forget that there's that rock that you have to lift to actually go down from the Light World platform into the Checkerboard Cave. And so I went over there in that race you were talking about and tried to lift the rock, and I was like, oh, she baited. Nice.
Rip.
And so here we do see Leno making that play to back of Escape. I think we'll see him find the map back here, and that might push him to the front of escape. Unfortunately, that might send him on the wrong path. Because, oh, that's where all those peebs for Jet came from. There were 2 in the back of escape. And a blue bottle, so I guess the map was in the front of escape. Map and small key. That's kind of bad. That disincentivizes going there where the gravity suit is.
Yeah, and he just got, I believe, the first bottle of the game that we've seen so far. I believe Jet might have checked it earlier, but...
We saw there was a fairy in a bottle under Old Mother Brain, and was that just another bottle there at ScrewAttack? Oof. Cross getting landed on by our buddy GT.
Cross also finding regular bombs at the, what is it, the GT missiles.
Yeah, the only item hard-gated behind Space Jump in Super Metroid, because for whatever reason, that statue will not lower the acid if you don't have Space Jump. So a weird vanilla Super Metroid thing that doesn't come up all that much, but it's been kept into the randomizer, so it is in the logic. That farm by Cross was insane, though.
Yeah, that was really nice luck there, getting like 5 supers.
Oh man, he shot GT in the back. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that. And MST is headed back toward Pink Bryn. So here is a chance. He's got plenty of ammo. If they remember that they haven't checked early supers, there is a good chance that we're going to see that Varia Suit find. And that one's not going to feel real good after all the hell running they've done, unfortunately. And Cross is going to mirror and get that Agena check in. This is a clean route. I like to check Agena as part of the Mire area, even though he is so early in the logic. This is one of those locations that you can go to pretty much right away, but that runners tend to leave for later because it is so far out of the way to get to. And today it's just supers, which honestly is going to be a welcome ammo upgrade for Cross as he makes his way to Ridley. And Jet is in pod. So far, I haven't seen any big finds, but we are in the back of pod now, so we'll see if it turns up anything. Bowless pod is another one of those plays that people are much, much more likely to make in a 2v2. And checkerboard, just some arrows, and the hook shot back there at the Four Turtles chest. That's a big find for Stoop's product in the back of pod. So now they have Dark World access, hook shot, hammer, flippers, and mirror. So that is full Swamp Palace. And Swamp is a crystal, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Jet force his way right over to Swamp following pod. And MST gets that Varia Suit. So now Team Fail Guys has one of their 2 suits. Unfortunately, a little late to the party on that one because of that early power bomb situation. But now they know, and hopefully they get to the front of escape and find that gravity suit.
I was about to mention they are missing a key portion of that puzzle, because at this point, they're going to be thinking, hey, we just got Varia and that was leading to our glove. At what point do they go back to escape for gravity? We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, the front of escape is so early. This could be bad. This is the order that you don't want to find the suits in, given where they're placed. Because this tells Leno that, okay, Dark World's on the table.
Right.
Go ahead, do all of your Dark World stuff. It's back in sequence. And so we might see them just spin their wheels there for quite a while.
Right, and if we're like in their shoes, I'm sure we'd make the exact same decision just because you have now Dark World open. You're going to be thinking, hey, Gravity's going to be here. We've made the right play this whole time.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is... What we see Leno doing right now is 100% the right play with the information that he has. It's just unfortunate that they haven't been to the front of Escape yet, and that's a slow location to do, and it's paying major dividends for Stoop's product. We see MST using that last power bomb in a spot where I don't think he could afford to use his last power bomb because he does not have morph bombs. So I don't know if he's planning to reset here. He hasn't reset yet. So we'll see what his angle is here. I'm very confused as to how he's planning to get out of this, though.
So just a couple of quick item updates. Our tracker HK just mentioned that the ice rod is on the Desert Torch. I don't know if he mentioned that. But also, Leno finding himself the Titan mitts in the second chest in Thieves Town.
Titans and Thieves. That is a Link to the Past Rando classic.
Yeah, it's just going to open up so much more for him now.
Yeah, that's one of the areas of the map where you most want Titan's mitts. But yeah, unfortunately, it looked like MST did have to reset out of there. He didn't have a plan. I think he just miscounted his power bombs, and he does not have his Varia anymore. That looks like he lost probably about 6 minutes there. But they do have the information about where Varia is, so he's going to be able to go back and follow up on that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just something we've all done. It's a very easy make.
Yeah, it sucks when it happens, but I mean, it's one of those things where like power bomb management is so important, especially if you're power bomb light early in a seed, and it can catch anyone. To be fair, once he had power bombed open the orange door, he was committed to the check because there was nothing else that he could do. He wasn't going to be able to get out of there. Actually, I think it's possible to make that jump. It's very difficult. But I think you can wall jump off of the bottom tile into a morph ball and make it through. But, yeah, once he hit the door transition, there were no outs.
All right, now we do have Jet going into Skullwoods here, continuing on with his check. And we have Cross, on the other hand, going through Lower Norfair now for the first time here in this race. Gonna get a nice, stutter through the pillars here.
Nice fast pillars there from Cross Product, and he is showing why worst room in the game is only the worst room in the game in any percent and low percent and things like that. But for GT Classic and Hundo runners who come through here with Space Jump and ScrewAttack, nobody cares. But we do have, Lower Norfair check, Skullwoods check, and Thieves Town check. All new stuff that we haven't seen either team do. I'm sure we'll be seeing Thieves Town out of Jet soon. But so far, this is 3 of the screens doing some new stuff. So far, the biggest thing from either of those areas, definitely those Titans mitts in Thieves Town for Fell Guys. And MST has gotten his Varia Suit back. And now he's taken 6 power bombs with him, so he should be in a better ammo situation this time around. But no, he isn't going to blue. He decides that he doesn't need to go up there because he didn't find anything of worth. So he's going to skip that map region and go back down Red Tower and, I guess, push that Varia Suit. Makes sense. And single Kago from crossproduct.
Yeah, he's pretty low on health. He doesn't want to really go for the double there.
Yeah, he took the spike hit to reduce the damage from the Kago to 15. So I don't think if you use the spike that you have iframes to get through the second one. You would have to take a second hit, which is what you see most players do.
Yo, cross with the swag echoes as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting visual glitch, and using the vertical spark there, not the ideal setup for that, but does clean up the metal pirates nicely. And Jet is into Thieves Town, as Leno is going to go take those Titans mitts, and we'll see what he wants to do with them. See, looks like he's going right for hammer pegs before... Oh, no, he's not sure. I thought he was going to rescue the frog because he has the mirror.
If he's already at the screen, you might as well do the hammer pegs. It's a small mistake. You always want to bring the frog here just to see kind of transitions and travel, but if you're already here, might as well do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll probably see a digging game check, then grab the frog because you can't have the frog following you to dig, then come up, mirror, and turn the frog in. That's kind of your optimal route for these things. Because in general, you want to take the purple chest down through that part of the map with you, assuming you don't yet have flute, which the runners don't. And I don't think we've seen this digging game yet, so how many digs do you think we have today? I'm gonna go with 13. Nope, it's 1. 1 digs. Couple bonus digs there, but all good. And I'm being corrected by our tracker, HK, in chat saying Jet has the flute. He found it in Skull Woods, so Fail Guys don't have it, but Stoops product does.
So that's also an interesting item. So again, that's gonna put him in lore Norfair in logic now with that flute.
Was that a mushroom behind Ridley? I think that was a mushroom behind Ridley.
That'd be pretty funny, honestly. I'm not touching the backstory on that one. We'll just leave that as, just the mushroom.
Yeah, that's it. You turn it into the witch. Same thing you do with every mushroom.
It's just his lunch, guys.
It's kind of dank back there, like it hasn't been cleaned in a while.
I mean, it looked like his lunch box was broken too.
I was gonna say there was like a broken glass in there. Like, I can't think he sweeps in there too often.
I mean, come on, it's Ridley. Does he look like he sweeps?
Doesn't even look like he's got a broom. Nice speedball there out of Wasteland, by the way, for Cross, as we find a bee in the bottle at the south of Grove Cave, and Leno is carting that purple chest around. One of my least favorite items, but only because it's so slow to check. But we see the team splitting up this labor of doing all these slow, inconvenient checks to try and balance the progression between the two runners, as each runner is finding different things. So far, other than this mushroom, Lower Norfair hasn't really been delivering too many goods. And Jet so far a little behind script on blind, but still has roughly the head movement he wants, so should be able to clean this up pretty cleanly. And yep, is through blind, as we are taking the chest to Hype Cave, so extend some hypes for Lenophis here. So far, a good start. Half magic from the weird dude at the front of Hype Cave.
And the D.
The bow, and the white mystery flavor chest in
Mystery
back.
item. Yeah.
That's gotta be an 11 to 10 hype. Like,
So hype, we don't even know what we got.
we rate things arbitrarily here in Randomizer, especially item dense regions. And that was definitely an 11.
Yeah, and Cross actually found our last sword in the game as well. Hotarugi, I believe it is. The gold sword.
Yeah, the Hotarugi special missiles, named for
That's
the
where I found
Hotarugi
them.
special, is a speedball strat, actually. It's a speedball springball strat to do that room that's used by good players in 100%. I think it's still the optimal strat for that room. That was pioneered by an old school, very, very talented Super Metroid and also other game speedrunner, Hotarugi. I think it dates back to mid-2000s, roughly.
That's interesting. I was always wondering the backstory of that one, honestly.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Hotarugi's runs, check out one of the old videos. They can be a little hard to find sometimes. I think there's links on Deer Tier, but once you're finished with this race, absolutely worthwhile viewing. Just the level of execution for the time was insane. And Jet is going to leave that B to rot in that bottle. So a little bit of a different approach to the B between MST and Jet. How do you feel about Bs? I don't like them.
I mean, they're good in very, very niche situations. That's about it. I can probably count the number of times in 600 races cashing it in for money at the bottle vendor. That's about it. Honestly.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll only ever use them for like dark room navigation and I guess mini Moldorms sometimes because I hate those guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 areas, guys: Mini Moldorm, Dark Sewers, Moth.
Never Moth. Never Moth. But I've used bees productively where MST is right now in the Old Man Cave to navigate before, so I'll give it a 4th area if we need to honorarily include Moth because that's a thing.
And Ross actually setting up for the powder glitch right now.
Yeah, so the game gets confused because it does not expect you to have the mushroom or mushroom and powder sharing an item spot, and if you try and use the red cane for whatever reason and get that tone, you can menu to mushroom, get that one-shot usage if you're out of magic, like we just saw cross product do, and he gets rewarded with probably an arrow upgrade. Yeah! Some arrows. We got it. And MST in the back of Escape, gonna get Peebs, and gonna get a blue bottle. But, unfortunately, still no pursuit of Gravity Suit in the front of Escape, but he is at Link's house, so bless RNG's in the chat that he heads north.
He's going for it.
This could be the play.
Big. This is big because he has Varia now too, so he's gonna go right to Meridia, I think.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I don't think we found that much in Meridia or Lower Norfair, so it's not holding them back. So the fact that Leno is making this progress in Dark World, honestly, is working out pretty favorably. Because he's likely to find something like boots that'll, expedite his travels to actually get his Gravity Suit later. But because of the dearth of items in Meridia and Lower Norfair, it hasn't actually proven too costly beyond the time of those hell runs. But yeah, Jet is in Swamp, and I like this play. As soon as we found that hookshot in Pod that Leno's going to be finding here before too long, I think that we'll see him also head over to Swamp in pretty short order, because flips, hammer, mirror, moon pearl, hookshot, sword. You've got everything you could reasonably want for Swamp, and it's not too tough of a dungeon. A lot of items, pretty slow though. Boots make it a lot better. But boots make most things better. And so you can get your guesses in chat for a number of rage slashes incoming from MST. I know he's a fan of those. I don't know if it's rage slash territory just yet for Gravity though, so I'm gonna guess 2. I'm kind of waiting for the day when the rage slashes come from the other player. Learning news of the inconvenient item being there and Leno just stopping and slashing a bunch. But we haven't seen it yet. Maybe a little too meta.
No, we're not doing that next race, by the way.
You can't control my decision to rage slash. I will arbitrarily slash things, and I'll forget I even mentioned it. That's what I'll do. And so far, all we're learning about Swamp is kind of a whole bunch of nothing.
Grapple found at the top of pod there in the vanilla key chest. I actually like that Metroid's not going to Metroid right now, just to kind of help out with Leno and check out the Dark World stuff. This is actually a really good decision for him.
Yeah, he does need to get to pod at some point because of Crystal, and if he was going to go to Meridia, he might want to go get that grapple before he goes there.
Yeah, and you know what? I think just thinking about it a little bit now too, he might be going for, he might be taking that to the Mire Shed area and just doing Lore Norfair through there by getting his Titans.
That also is a nice play. I think he does actually have ScrewAttack now, so he would have ScrewAttack to do Lower Norfair with, which would of course be that nice convenience item. So that could be a really nice play. And we see he is doing that Skull Woods dive before going to Thieves Town, trying to kind of divide up and cover some of the areas of the map that Leno didn't while he was over in this part of the map, so that if it's blank, Leno just won't need to come back and sweep these out himself. And so far, nothing in Skullwoods. We know that the flute's there somewhere. I guess it must be back here behind Mummy's statue room. A Link to the Past room names are the best.
They're awful. It's okay.
Yeah. Not... Oh, I was gonna say, we have the red cane. I was gonna say, not even using the red cane. Just gonna tug that statue, but no, he's gonna use the Samaria to save some time here. And Lenophis just got his hook shot from the back of pod, so he is gonna let MST know about that, and we'll see. We'll see if that gets pushed to Swamp. So far, I don't think Swamp has been anything for Jet, honestly. And MST using vanilla or intended strats for this chest, finding his flute. Skullwoods is a weird dungeon to do just naively and not knowing any sort of speed pathing. It's confusing as all get out.
Yeah, Ice is notorious for that too. Like, if you're a new randomizer runner, even runner of Link to the Past in general, it could be a tough one.
I think I ran a Link to the Past randomizer for multiple months before I felt like I understood Ice Palace. And then I still learned more things about Ice Palace after it, and I still don't fully understand the key logic in that dungeon. It's pretty dumb, to be honest. But a lot of good work went into developing the logic very robustly on both sides of this game, and so it's been pretty cool to take advantage of all the hard work that has gone into this, because it's really impressive, some of the algorithms. And so we saw Jet in Thieves. I guess he has not been to Croc yet, so he doesn't yet have his Titan's mitts. So I think that's where he's going to go now to get those mitts, and then help cross over in the Link to the Past side, cleaning up some of that stuff. Maybe heading over to the Mire area. Oh, and we see MST's taken the northern route, actually. Rather than going down to Thieves Town and getting his glove, he's going to go and knock out some of these North Dark World checks that are pretty out of the way otherwise. So this could pay off. And Leno is fighting Helmasaur King as the most Helmasaur King looking thing in Super Metroid. Crocomire is being fought by Jet. A lot of similarities between these games. I've never noticed how similar these things look until right now. But yeah, for anyone who is confused about what exactly is going on, we have an ongoing Super Metroid: A Link to the Past crossover randomizer match between Team Fail Guys, Lenophis and MetroidMst on the left, and a Team Stoops product of crossproduct and Jet082 on the right in red. And so the runners are in a voice call with one another, communicating information, but each runner is playing their own game. And the goal of this is to get both runners of one team across the finish line before both runners of the other team complete their game. So we're seeing runners try to balance the workload so that the runners will finish as close to one another as possible and as quickly as possible as MST gets his Titan's mitt. And Leno is into Eastern. Has to get it done at some point, so why not now, I suppose. I think we know all the items in Eastern, and I think that, yeah, Leno has already been here and knows all the items. I guess he has the bow now that he did not have before, so he can come through here and clean up the Armos Knights.
Yeah, he just wants to get his crystal here.
Jet I don't know if there's an item on Armos or not, actually.
I don't think there was. Jet picked up his Titans here in the coastside room. Was originally the power gloves we saw, but of course progressive gloves. And Cross picking up his charge beam from the Smiths. And I believe Leno has picked up his charge from there as well.
Oh, I missed that they're... Yeah, they would have definitely gotten charge through Smiths to do purple chest, and we saw Leno carting that chest around. So if it was charge at Smiths, that's a good catch. Very important item because it's going to eliminate the amount of ammo that the runners need to pick up, especially because they already have that plasma beam from behind Kraid. Yeah, I see the comment that there's no rods yet. We're basically in Super Metroid Go mode, but A Link to the Past we're pretty far away. But we do know where the ice rod is. It's on the torch in desert behind the boots. And the Quake medallion is also behind the boots at Lumberjack, if that comes into play. We know that Mire is Bombos, but we do not yet know about Turtle Rock. So Quake could still be required. We could still have an Agaseed on our hands. We'll see.
And we also see what the mystery item was in Hype Cave. It was Peebs.
Okay, we'll downgrade that to a 9, but still, half magic and bow. Pretty good stuff.
That is about a 7.1 in my scoring system.
Okay. I don't know. I like Peebs. Why do you hate Peebs so much, Solsky?
I mean, I don't mind them, but when I have like 39 of them, I don't need any more. Just my 2 cents.
Talking like a guy who likes to find Varia Suit. So, Paradox Cave with Wave Beam. I think we saw this, yeah, we saw this earlier from Leno when he was up here. It's just been a minute. So we have Charge, Wave, Plasma. We know where Ice Rod is. We don't know where Ice Beam is just yet. But there's not a whole lot left that we could find for Super Metroid to make it easier. Spring Ball would obviously be a top candidate. High jump boots right there with Spring Ball. But otherwise, Super Metroid doesn't get easier than this, other than E-Tanks and whatnot.
Here's your high jump boots.
Nailed it. So yeah, we're a Spring Ball away from the Super Metroid suite of movement items. And at that point, I don't see any purpose to not finishing as much as you reasonably can or want to of Super Metroid, and just picking up the items you need on the way. I mean, routing, may work out one way or another. And there's that Ice Beam for Jet as well in the last chest of Hookshot Cave. So
it's good find.
Pod Hookshot leading to Ice Beam. That's going to make Torian easier. MST is going to get his Charge Beam. If he missed it the first 2 times, he'll be able to catch it here on the lower left screen. There it is. I missed it the first 2 times. Confirmed not being lied to. And Cross is coming up on what I suspect will be his hammer jump. I think he's got a pretty good... Oh, nope. No hammer jump. Baited. But he is going to get that hook shot. I guess he knows that Dark Maze just doesn't have anything, so yeah, he doesn't need to go get those items. Makes sense. And I missed the Turtle Rock check, so it's either Ether, Quake, or Bombos required.
This is why this guy's on my team, everyone.
Yeah, if y'all could be in our voice chats mid-race, which you can't, sorry. There's a lot of that. Like, what? Where were those E-Tanks? I got them. Oh, you only have 2 E-Tanks right now? Rip. But MST is going to get his very hype cave. Also soups and missiles. There is not a clunker in that hype cave. 7.1, man. Tough judge. And where is Jet going? Oh, he's going to get his charge beam. That's what he's doing. And thankfully, we have an idea of the nothing that Leno is going to find here in Swamp. But given what he knows, I agree with this play in the same way that I agree with Jet doing this falling pod. It's based on where you found Hookshot and everything. It's just the thing to do. And so I'm not surprised to see the runners do it, even if they don't run into anything great here. So we're still looking for Fire Rod. And we know where Quake is. And so I think we're a Fire Rod away, aren't we? At an hour and a half in.
Fire Rod and Boots.
Oh, and Boots, because of Ice Rod being on the torch. So yeah, we're a Fire Rod and Boots away. Because Desert is required, and Desert isn't Boots locked, but that Ice Rod sure is. So we've seen Thieves, we've seen Pod, we've seen Swamp, we've seen Skull. How do you feel about Ice Palace?
I think it's the play, honestly, at this point.
That's what I was leaning toward as well. I think that Ice Palace is very likely to be where we see our runners go next once they get through with this sweep and kind of confirm that no, Fire Rod and Boots are not here.
I think we'll see Mire first, and that's what Jet is signaling to do. But I can definitely see that option come on the table.
Yeah, and Mire's a crystal. Ice is a pendant. But I would want to send whoever was ahead on the team, so usually you. I would want to send you over to Ice Palace so that I don't have to do it.
See, that's how Maniacal gets ahead, guys. Got him.
Not wrong.
And Jet just celebrating with some fireworks in the entrance of Mire. Had to be an input error.
You know. Game's weird, man. But cleaning up Mire 2 pretty nicely. It's weird because you practice it with Boots, and you practice the one cycle with Boots, and so not having Boots, it feels really, really weird to go through that room sometimes. And this is a cool quick kill layout there from crossproduct. The order in which he did those Armos. Not the super swaggy middle of the Armos Silver Arrow strat, but still pretty good looking.
Shoutouts to Super Scudge for that, by the way.
That is one of the coolest boss strats in A Link to the Past. Not as hard as like the Zero Cycle Argus or anything, but it just looks great. MST is going to grab his grapple beam, just on the off case that you know, our Meridia digging game turns up something. I know for a fact that he is not a fan of the ice clip, so not shocked to see him grab that grappling beam on a just-in-case basis.
Yeah, that ice clip can be very fickle if you're not used to it or don't practice it. And even if you do, it just, if you have bad inputs on the player's side, it can just be a nightmare to go through.
Absolutely, it's one of those weird-looking frame-perfect tricks that shows up in Super Metroid that I like it. I think it's a cool little trick, but I'm also an old-school 100% run fan, where that was part of the route. But oh, there it is, Ridley, secreting away the fire rod via proxy. So, no boots. Now I'm thinking I want to get Jet over into ice, and I won't cross up in, like, Turtle Rock.
Now, did we find one item in Skull or two?
Flute and some keys and a compass. I think we may have only found one item there. That's a really good point.
Yeah. I would say Skull at this point is a stronger play just because it is a quicker check and you get green pendant out of bits as well. Go and book at Quakefish here, so that's also another kind of fetch 'em quest.
Yeah. I want to take that right up the Ether Tablet and get into Turtle Rock as soon as I can.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Unless Turtle Rock is actually Quake.
No, that's exactly where Cross is going.
Guess it's got to be Ether.
Yeah, and Cross is pretty ahead of Jet right now, too, it seems, in the grand scheme of things. So for him to dip TR and risk not finishing it, it's only going to put him or equalize 3 minutes on the team's finish, so it's definitely the right play for him to chase Ether and that now.
Definitely. However, if boots do show up here, that's going to be even harder for them to get Jet back to parity. So I would expect Jet to just be on cleanup duty, go moding as much as possible, while Cross is doing this scout, if they are assessing that Cross is very ahead of Jet right now.
Right, so in a 2v2 format in the finish such as this tournament, it's based on both teammates finishing, so the first team to finish. So ideally you'd want to keep the team finish nearly as identical as possible, just to kind of, you don't want one guy to finish like 15 minutes ahead and then the other teammate finishes fourth amongst all the runners. So if a teammate does end up getting far ahead, as you mentioned with cleanup duty, they want to feed the other teammate as much information, such as like key layouts in dungeons, where the big key is in GT, for example, just to kind of give him some catch-up time and save him some time throughout his run.
That's absolutely correct, and that can be one of the harder things to balance for these teams. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background right now, and so if you see runners doing things that wouldn't look like rational actor decisions in a 1v1, whether it be weird, slow one-off checks, or just standing around and kind of spinning their wheels waiting on their teammate to get information that would influence their next decision, I'm sure there's a ton of traffic going on in the voice calls that these teams are in, just discussing how to manage all those things. And it makes this a really skill rewarding format. Like, here, Cross is going to be able to tell Jet, hey, forget about all the items upstairs here in Hera.
Oh,
wow, that was pretty nifty.
What a god. That was sick.
That was pretty legit there from Cross, that bomb jump back across.
I gotta steal that, man. That was good.
I've never seen that one before.
But yeah, Jet he's been here? No, he is not. I thought he was, but do we have both items in here, or was one fire locked earlier? Oh wait, yeah, no, never mind. We did on Team Leno and Metroid.
Yeah, they did the basement, and it was nothing. But this Hera check for the green pendant is one of those things that you make cross product do so that Jet can catch up. Like, if Hera's garbage, that's okay. That just brings Jet 3 minutes closer. Because right now it's Cross's job to make Jet complete the sea as fast as possible. And a challenge can be assessing when that has actually evened out and not overcorrecting. But now Cross has about 40 seconds to think about how to balance the workload, and I would be just completely bamboozled if he doesn't go right to Turtle Rock.
I mean, it's the proper play again, because he is first to Fire Rod on the team. He does potentially have T-Rock open. We didn't quite see the medallion. We think it's Ether. And you know what? Like, with Jet now completing off Lower Norfair, he's going to speed through that, finish that off. Let Cross kind of do some of the searching for now.
Yeah, and it looks like Jet does not have his space jump. Where was space jump? It was pretty early.
It was Wreck Ship Reserve.
And
he has not done
yeah,
it
that's
yet,
right.
So he's going to go mode Wreck Ship when he goes up there.
Yeah, I remember even talking about it would be interesting to see if Jet even bothered to go get that space jump. And so now that I'm reminded of, what I thought an hour ago, I'm not at all surprised that he doesn't have it, but it would be a convenient item to have right now.
It is, but it's not worth the time with high jump found. If they didn't have high jump, he's definitely getting it, but at this point, there's no point.
And here it is. I've got to assume it's Ether. Hey, it's Ether. So, yeah, Lumberjack not required. And we saw Leno making the rush to go grab both of his suits. So we'll see where he heads with this. Fail Guys has not yet been to Lower Norfair, so they're pretty far away from their Fire Rod. But it'll be interesting to see where Jet goes once they get the Fire Rod. And wow, Turtle Rock immediately Fire Rod locked. So this makes me really want to be here if I'm Cross. We'll see if it pays off. First try out there on that Samaria block.
I've done that enough times to feel the pain, honestly.
All the time. The worst is when you lay the block and there's the big block sitting on the switch, but you still manage to walk off. I think it's like frame perfect. It's this frame perfect failure.
I do that in the dark maze all the time, yeah. It's so dumb.
It's pretty awful. Nice hook shot. Well, of course I cursed it. But he was doing a really good job of managing that hook shot to keep the iframes for those rollers. It can actually be a lot more tricky than it looks. Kind of like space jumping or jumping and ascending this shaft without space jump for Lenophis. And a little fast on that second Samaria block, but getting that small key that was required to be there so he can continue deeper into Turtle Rock. I think the boots are here, which I think means that Cross is way ahead. And so I think that if boots show up here, I think that poses a problem for Stoop's product. What can they even do to address that, though, from the point of go mode?
Nothing they can do. They just got to ride the wave again and just have Cross act as a buffer to Jet for information to catch up.
Yeah, just feed key layouts, scout GT. But if boots show up here, there's just not a lot that can be done to even things out. And I'm seeing murmurings of people wanting boots on pedestal. I'm not surprised at all by these murmurings. But that is still on the table. But I doubt that it's what we're dealing with.
It's not gonna happen.
It's more likely that that boots are on pedestal than that boots are in GT. So there's that.
Boots, yeah. You almost got me. Almost triggered me. It's okay.
No, you should be probably the least triggered because we've not yet seen the Meridia digging game.
Don't start.
Oh, I'm looking at that grapple on Leno's screen.
I'm actually wondering if we've seen Plasma, honestly, from Jet's side. I don't remember if he did or not when he was down there.
No, there were a few things that we didn't see in Meridia, and I think that Plasma and Shack Tool and
what?
Spring Ball.
Okay, that's better.
Spooky Sandpit.
Oh my god, get out of here.
I'm broken. I'm done. So far, nothing. No boots in Turtle Rock yet.
Yeah, so to explain that one, chat, I refer to the left spike room and ship notoriously as spooky missiles.
I'm just gonna keep my push to talk held and just laugh my ass off through this.
Michael, for the first like 5 races we did, were like spooky missiles, and just was bamboozled by it. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And
so every time. Yeah. So spooky sandpit in Meridia. That's what we're gonna see Leno check here once he
honestly,
shows his way through Buckthorn.
It's a way better name, though. You have to admit.
It is.
I know it's grown
spooky.
on you.
I mean, it definitely is more flavorful than pre-Phantoon missiles.
Yeah, that's gross. I mean, you're here hating on LTTP room names, but you're gonna use that. Like, come on.
Not wrong.
All right, but what's not wrong is we're about to see hopefully some more here in Laser Bridge. Just more or less because you're calling it here.
Got that red hard hat beetle with that Samaria block, and yeah, no shame in a little safety here for cross product. Half magic, think he's got the cape, doesn't matter. Wants to take that hard hat beetle out again, and bootless skips go. Oh, there it is. So is Cross 8 minutes ahead?
In and around, yeah. So you're gonna see a little bit of a variance, but you're gonna see Jet catch up. Because they're gonna just fall back on mechanics now. They don't have to really search for anything else, whereas Cross is gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting here, looking for keys and dungeon layouts, that sort of thing, just to help out Jet. So he's gonna relay the whole key layout to T-Rock. When he gets to GT, he's gonna relay the whole key layout for Jet, just so he can catch up even faster now. Like, it does save a lot of time. So if he's already like 8 minutes behind, he'll probably be about 4 when it's all said and done. That's how much time it saves.
So, interesting question. I see Torsui mention a portal trick in the chat, and we see cross product has mirrored into desert. Would it have been faster for him to have taken the laser bridge portal, flute to 6, hop off open desert with the Book of Medora that I think he has, because he was checking tablets, and then use like a death warp to get back to Death Mountain, climb up and take the laser bridge portal. I think that would have been faster.
The answer is yes, it would have been in that sense, but since he has to finish Mire anyways,
good point on Mire.
It doesn't matter because he has to burn the warp. But yeah, it would have been faster if it was just TR and he had to go to, like, say, a Pendant or a Crystal Desert to get his Ice Rod. But in this situation, he has to finish the dungeon, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I forgot Mire was there, so... This is why we keep you around to keep my routing fails in check.
I mean, I've seen races and called races and had races myself where, like, that play, like, say, Ice Rods on Ether, and people just forgetting, like, that they can have that warp is almost cost them races just because the catch-up time is so great when the other runner remembers.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple go that way, and it's always cool when you do see that portal used effectively, but I guess I was maybe a little eager to see it and looking for an opportunity for it, and this was not it, so heads up play by crossproduct to not get baited by that. And Leno is at Aqueduct, so we'll see where he goes from here. Looks like he's headed in the general direction of some sand pits. And Cross down to 1.5 hearts. He does have red mail, so, and shouts to Fire Shield as well. But okay, so yeah, we'll see if he's able to close out this Mire play. But yeah, good point that because Jet has already done Mire, he will be able to use the laser bridge portal strat, and will be able to use that as a catch-up mechanism.
Yep.
But what do you think Leno's doing?
He's avoiding.
He's debating us.
He's debating it. Good.
Dang it! Come on! Why it got to be this way, Leno? At least he's taking the toilet, going to do that plasma check.
What a name.
Super Metroid has the best room names. This one that he's about to enter, the Cassius room, so named for Cassius, an old Super Metroid speedrunner. This is one of the names I definitely don't understand. I don't even know if it was that he liked the room, was really bad at it, or what. Usually having a room named after you in Super Metroid is a bad thing. Or either game, for that matter. Shouts to the Zelda Gamer room.
So I guess for you, we're going to call Ship Maniacal Cave now.
Ship?
You know why.
I really don't.
The wall jumped up to...
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Okay, landing site. I thought you were talking about something in wrecked ship.
No. Like actual
Oh my
ship.
god. Landing site. That wall jump is non-trivial, okay? So yeah, we have no idea what was at Plasma, but Leno didn't reset. So it may have been an item that he wasn't sad to see. But he may have just not saved very recently. So we are going back through Cack Alley.
Might be.
What could he have possibly found that would make him want to route this way?
He might be going back for the warp, is what I was going to say.
Yeah, this is the fastest way from Plasma to the warp. But he bailed on an in-logic spring ball check. to go up toilet to plasma. And now,
He's going back.
Now he's going back toward the sand pit. So what is this? It's faster to just go back down toilet from here. So maybe he missed something in a sand pit.
It could be one of those. It could be one of those communication things we were talking about earlier, is where you're thinking about, oh, skip this, and then it's like, oh, desert doesn't have the item because Metroid's in desert, I think, for the first time. So it could be one of those things where there's like, nah, just check it. Because they themselves are running pretty low on locations. They haven't done Lower Norfair yet, because I have not run into the mushroom, but at this point, like, Shack Tool is a good check for them.
We'll see. Well, maybe we'll see. Okay, Piece of Heart and a Missile Pack, and he's not going to grab those. And you're getting your wish. He is blowing by the digging game. Not going to go that way.
Good.
Not a required check, so it is good for fail guys that they're making the play this way. If they have any hope of clawing their way back into this one, they need to get to Lower Norfair very, very soon. But at this point, I would say that Stoop's product probably has 35 minutes on him.
I don't think it's that much, just because they have a lot of the Link to the Past checks already knocked away. Like, it was good that when they have the Dark World access, they both split up Dark World, which is where a lot of the worth was.
Oh,
so
yeah,
really,
absolutely. They found a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and we know what the logic chain looks like for them now. It's Mushroom to Fire Rod, 2 boots, so... I mean, once Leno gets that Mushroom, they just gotta follow that chain. But I feel like Metroid might go to Ice now, just to kind of continue to string along checks. I don't think he'll chase in Lower Norfair as well.
Yeah, it is because they've been so thorough in sweeping things out. Aside from one key location in Meridia, they've been very thorough. And so when they find that mushroom, there's always the incentive to go turn that mushroom in fast. Mushroom has been worth a lot lately. So I've been finding myself quite a fan of just getting it turned in. And that's, obviously a results bias and not actually a thing.
That PRNG though.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, we'll be honest, there's a reason why we're like, hey, there might be something here in TR. Sure enough.
Yeah. I've played this game before, clearly.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a look at the challenge real quick. I want to see, I think the winner of this goes on to play the loser of Snappy's Hawaiian Host and Wildcard, but I don't remember for certain.
That is correct, by the way.
So right now, that looks like Stoop's product, probably. But that would be a cool matchup to see either way that breaks. And I'm kind of curious what happened in that other race that I think must have concluded, because I see Ms. Metroid in chat who was commentating that one. Have you seen the result, Solsky, of the other race?
I've been made aware of it.
Okay. I won't spoil it for anyone, but I'm excited to see that. But we have MST is going through his Mire, of course, having to do the torch puzzle. But yeah, this is a loser's bracket match, so unfortunately going to be the last race for one of these teams. But it's been a good race and a good run by both teams. We got those Dragon sounds now from crossproduct, replacing the nothing that happens when you backdoor into Meridia. And yeah, it was a red potion there at ScrewAttack. Not what Leno needs to find in, oh, Leno, stay out of the Mire area. Go to the Ridley area. You need this mushroom. It's critically important.
I think he hasn't checked Mire shed yet, so he's just dipping in.
Yeah, it makes more sense to push MST there post finishing Mire. But yeah, what we see here is I saw just a question about why Jet would be doing Torian, and you made a nice point about it to me, Solsky, if you want to kind of discuss what this decision making is. It kind of falls in line with what we've been chatting about. But I think it's a very good point.
Yeah, so Jet's doing this for two reasons on the team. Is first off, they're in go mode and they have essentially everything they need to be Torian, like quality of life item wise, like they have everything they want. And the second reason is it's going to allow Cross to get even a little bit further ahead in Link to the Past. I know he's doing Dragon now, but he just wants to get it out of the way, so he can give him just like absolute knowledge of the remaining dungeons and GT, just to kind of catch him up a little bit more.
Yeah, so when Jet asks how many keys are in Stalfos' room, Cross will be like, dude, I don't know. Just skip it. No. Ideally, they'll feed each other perfect information, and that will speed up Jet. And so this is Jet doing something where there's no randomness to what's going on. Nice Zebetite skip by him there, by the way. So that he can just let cross-product map out the rest of the game and give him the biggest potential to catch up. Yeah, Leno is pushing this play all the way to the back of Desert, unfortunately, so they are just nowhere near this fire rod. I mean, they're in the region for it, but they're both kind of stacked at Lower Norfair, and maybe it'll just be throttled through Lower Norfair and they know that something has to be there and they'll both go that way. I'm not actually certain. And let's see what we got from Cross. Looks like Cross may also be going to Torian, which doesn't fit the narrative of balancing these things and letting Cross do all of GT. But it is, in a 1v1 sense, faster because of what you said, Solsky, about having all the quality of life items you would reasonably want for Torian. Definitely a little surprised by this call, so something to maybe ask about why he wanted to go and do Torian prior to GT if we get to chat with him post-race. But Jet has gotten through his Mother Brain 2 fight and only has 6 E-Tanks. Cross only has 4, plus reserves, of course. But no stand-up glitch for anyone, so this is going to be pretty safe, minus Metroid's chewing aggressively on Cross. We see him using ScrewAttack, so his health won't be drained while he's using ScrewAttack, and so he's managing his health using that, because otherwise those Metroids, when they grab onto you, the damage does stack. And so especially there in Metroids 1 in Torian, that damage can add up pretty quickly. So Good strats by Cross. All sorts of Metroids. That one's very, very large on Jet's screen. Gonna refill him and get those baby thumps ready. If you are so inclined. But we'll be seeing that Mother Brain 3 Hyper Beam cutscene here coming up. Yeah, clean Torian from both Cross and Jet. Cross did skip Ice Beam. Where was Ice Beam again? It was last chest hookshot cave, so I guess, yeah, Cross never got over to that hookshot cave chest. Kind of surprised that if he's routing it this way that he didn't do that. But maybe they've decided he's far enough ahead that he's just going to be blanketly ahead into GT no matter what. And is just knocking it out this way. I'm not actually certain, because some GT big key layouts can be substantially different for the amount of time it takes with information about them versus without. But not going for baby skip. Just gonna damage himself down, get grabbed face right, and save those 40 frames of stand-up animation. And we see Leno is headed up Dark Death Mountain. I think this might be that Turtle Rock dive, as MST is finally going to go get that that mushroom once he gets through his Ridley fight. Speaking of named rooms for Metroid, we have the Leodox room here on Jet's screen. Jet doing a better than Leodox job of handling this one. So far, so good. Yeah, in the lull where Leno is about to go get that ice beam, and MST is about to get his mushroom.
You see what happened on Jet's side, right?
He had to go. He blasted through because he was doing early Torian, ran through the door, and didn't have the pirates killed and had to re-kill them, which is hilarious.
If you finish off Torian first before Link to the Past, the timer actually doesn't initialize. So a couple of things in the game flags do not set, and that is the escape sequence with the explode old Torian, such as the escape climb here. And you can actually just shoot through the wall like he did if you're not careful and just blast right through. And unfortunately, too, he didn't make his way through, so he had to kill all the space pirates as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty uncommon thing, and probably cost all of the time that he saved by doing Super Metroid first. Although, like we were chatting about, the design of having Jet do Super Metroid first is really, really sound. But what I was going to say was, if you haven't already, go give these runners a follow. This has been a really fun race, and it's going to be winding down here in the next handful of minutes. But both Team Stoop's product of crossproduct and Jet082 and Team Fail Guys of Lenophis and MetroidMst putting on a good show today. Really nice race. So definitely show those guys some support.
Cross. Be careful, Cross.
Yeah, he
has energy in reserve. I don't know how much.
Yeah, thankfully ScrewAttack acts like pseudo screw and can get you through those catch-ups. And he's made it through. I don't know how much he's gotten here, but okay. 200. 200's sufficient. Yeah, MST has his critically important mushroom, and we'll see if he heads to turn it in right away after the rest of Lower Norfair is blank. Yeah, I'm glad that chat enjoys knowing that ScrewAttack acts like pseudo-screw.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
You can go through Mother Brain's catch-up with either of those things.
Learn something new every day. Hashtag got him.
Yeah, I was thinking I might be able to sneak that one under the radar, but nope, ED is on it. ED knows more about Super Metroid than I will ever know.
Speaking of pseudos, my favorite application of pseudos is gaining over the requirement of like plasma screw speed for plasma check and just using pseudo screws to dispose of the space pirates.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had a nice power bomb pseudo screw speed booster combo plasma room the other day, and it's just something that doesn't come up too often outside of Randomizer. Because obviously in Plasma Room you always get plasma and then just use that to kill the pirates. And Jet taking a death. Didn't catch what got him. I have to think this was a death warp. Or maybe some chomps or something, but hopefully it wasn't unintentional. As Cross finishes up Mother Brain 3, we'll see if he gets sucked into the door here in the climb. So for anyone just joining, welcome to everyone coming in from the race that just concluded. The sequence here is that Fire Rod locks Turtle Rock. Fire Rod is at the witch on the mushroom's behind Ridley. The last chest on Laser Bridge is the Pegasus boots, and Ice Rod is on Desert Torch. And Turtle Rock is, of course, required. So that's what Team Fail Guys is up against on this one. That's kind of the limiting chain for this logic.
Yeah, the chain's pretty long in general if you just look at it case by case as he goes, because in this application with Mushroom being at Ridley, that means charge is required. And charge was at Purple Chest, I believe. Oh no, Blacksmiths. So it would have had Dark World access first for it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to do that, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah. There were a couple different ways to get into Lower Norfair because both of the gloves and flute were available with Dark World access, as was both suits plus space jump, which are kind of your two ways in normal logic. So there were some things that kind of went into getting us into Lower Norfair, but going and killing Ridley was critical. And here we go from MST not turning in that mushroom, playing a digging game instead. Get your Shack Tool hypes in chat, as Solsky hates me evermore.
Okay, this is good. He's at least torturing him.
He is tickling him.
No, torturing.
But he's charging the plasma beam, so that has me worried. Showing off that hold down bomb spread. That is a rare bomb spread where you hold the down input for a long time and get the bombs to bounce very high. Actually, can be useful as a backup strat for Ice Escape if you mess that up in 100%.
X-rays there.
Wow, got him.
I saw a clip actually of Sephi using that strat in the Bubble Mountain Escape.
Bubble Mountain Escape?
It was really sick. No, he didn't kill him. Okay.
Aw.
I was hoping, but
clearly,
he's gonna be a pacifist, unfortunately. Yeah. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
There's those boots on Jet's screen, by the way. And he's not going to use the laser bridge portal. He is mirroring out to here. And he's just gonna go the whole way back through Turtle Rock. Thankfully, he'll have the boots when he does it. But I think this is a bit of an error on the Stoops product side, but it's a subtle thing. It's the sort of thing that I'm 85% sure I would screw up in a race.
It's one of those things, if you haven't run into the situation a couple times, you'll almost
one more
always
try.
forget it.
Okay. MST, I was worried about that green gate glitch. He had 5 tries, but made it through. But yeah, definitely not something that's obvious.
Yeah. Jet getting his ice rod, so now he's officially in go mode.
Yep, so that is go mode for both members of Stoops product. And both of them having already killed Motherbrain and done what they need to of their Torian escape, will be ending the game at Ganon. So it's just a race. It looks like Jet must not have done Desert. So he has Desert and Turtle Rock left. Oh, and now it's being pointed out Jet never got the Book of Medora. Where was the Book of Medora again?
Where was it?
Yeah, that's unfortunate that Jet had to go and do Desert late. Or had to get into Desert using Mire, so not an error. My apologies to Stoops product. Again, I've been jebaited by my eagerness for useful novelty Mire plays. Oh, and yeah, the book was all the way at Catfish. So, yeah, it makes sense that Jet would have just left cross-product to assess whether book was required, and once it wasn't, he would never go there. So, cross dashing into Trinex's foot, but Red Mail makes it so that he is completely impervious to damage forever, so it'll be okay. And we're going to see a microwave strat here on Dragon from MST, so if you're a fan of Super Metroid microwave strats, get ready. Bottom left is your screen.
Oh, baby.
And we might be getting a Silver Arrow viddy going on from Leno. His screen's probably stopping more than his partner's right now,
Leno also using microwave strats here on Vitreous.
There it is. I'm glad we both took the easy bait. Low-hanging fruit, man. A pair of bad frame rate jokes about Leno. But we have cross product. He is going to be, as anticipated, first into Ganon's tower. So let's see what the key layout is. If you like to guess numbers, you're too late already. Sorry, it wasn't chest 1. Look at me just killing all the fun.
Disqualified.
He is going to go to the right, and I think this is the right play.
I think it's the right play in 2v2 to definitely go right first, just because like 85% of runners, I'd say, go left.
I think it's fewer than that. But it's still probably a dominant play. But especially with the lead, just being able to say, no, you don't need to, or yes, you do.
I mean, I would. Okay, there it is. I was even gonna say I would actually like to see him do tile room because he's so far ahead. Like if it's not right side, he's still gonna be ahead with left side, regardless of where it is.
Yeah, but it was on the right side, so it was the right play. So not gonna really let Jet save any time in GT, unfortunately. And they're both, geared to the gills here. Cross with gold sword and silvers and red mail, and Jet with blue mail, tempered, and silvers. They're both, in a very comfortable space for executing the rest of the game. And Cross with low HP using some more conservative strats here. And, definitely never fault anyone for that call, but the switch, because he hit that switch again, when he gets to the circle of switches room with the anti-fairy and the bunny beam, we'll have to see if that affects how he handles that room. I know it gets me most of the time.
All right, we do have Leno actually dipping ice now at this point, and Metroid is actually. Does he have the mushroom?
He has it. He needs to turn it in. Please.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Good.
So we might see Leno get his butt right back out of Ice Palace, but we may see him commit because they still don't know where the boots are.
Yeah, I think he's already in there. He's going to just commit because they don't know where the boots are at this point.
But there is that fire rod, and he's going to stock up on potions while he's here because he's got now 1,200 rupees. Rich seed. It's interesting. Everyone has 1,200 rupees except crossproduct has like 300. And I don't think he spent all his rupees, but that's the narrative I'm going to use. I think he wasted all of his rupees on something dumb. Probably playing the arrow shooting game that he likes to use to farm for cash. Ooh. And Silver Arrow Lamo too. This stupid fireball shooter in this room is awful. It's probably the worst enemy placement in the game. For a while, I disliked the final room with all the mini Helmas and the ice and the scrolling floor. But no, this room, Landmo 2, my god, I am not a fan of that room. And Jet is now into GT, gonna follow probably only 4 minutes behind, really.
Yep.
So they did close the gap just a little bit, especially with Turtle Rock having the boots. That was, I mean, in one sense, best case, but in one sense, worst case for equity within that team. And they did a really good job of balancing it out. And it looks like we might be getting... Oh, we're getting the Skull Woods dive before the Turtle Rock dive. And
Makes sense. There's an item in this green pendant.
Mm-hmm.
Totally see that play.
It's not green because Hera was green, but it's a pendant.
I'm not sure if Leno grabbed all 3 items yet, but he definitely dipped out of ice and was like, yeah, I want that fire rod too.
And I definitely like the play. What? Oh no!
Almost got the swag. Fast pillars with the door transition too.
Yeah, but still, other than that down input there, doing a good job making his way through this wall jump. There's no great visual cue for it, so it can be a little tricky sometimes, but doing a good job. And there's the Cane of Burna at Moldorm 2. And Fire Rod getting put to quick use on Moth. Have they been to Cat? They have to have been to Catfish by now. So I wonder if they have checked the pedestal. I don't think we've seen a pedestal check yet. I can't imagine them skipping the ped check. Oh, here it comes. Okay. No, maybe not. Checking this chest first. I think this is probably one of those instances of intra-team communication getting in the way of what we're seeing on one runner's screen. And just a red rupee for that second item. So flute and red rupee, but it was behind the fire rod. And he does not have his Book of Medora MST, so he cannot check the pedestal. So I don't know if we've seen what's on pedestal yet.
Alright, so as we're closing up this race, Cross and Jet both going for the GT finale here to end the race on their side. What do you think? Just a tale of late suits in this one?
I mean, that was the biggest part of it, honestly, because those suits are what incentivized Cross and Jet to split Meridia and lower Norfair early. And Leno and MST, I think especially MST is more comfortable in Metroid than Link to the Past. Both are good at both games, obviously, but I don't think that either of them has a particular aversion to Super Metroid like we've seen in some teams. A nice triple there by Cross to finish up Ganon, so GG to crossproduct. But I think it was just how late they found those suits because of the powerbomb management, missing Varia, and then just not doing front of escape early. Really proved costly for Team Fail guys. And Jet onto Moldorm 2, and now done with Moldorm 2. And no nonsense from him. He's not going to use those boots. He's going to use that hook shot. And I see the point that Cross does still need to cross that bridge, which he, of course, did. But I think he's probably practice crossing that bridge, given that there was a previous race where he had some issues with that exact door transition. And so I don't think he's want to let that happen again.
Also, Cross finishing with a 2:27.03, great solid time for 2v2, honestly.
Yeah,
anytime
absolutely.
you hit those sub 2:30s, it's like that's the mark of a good team. Seed has to help you along the way too and hold your hand a little for it, but honestly, that's still a solid time.
Yeah, here it was the early suits that, and the way they were able to divide the labor and never really ended up stacked on top of each other for Stoop's product that really did it. Plus, obviously, solid execution, sound gameplay, and all of those things. We see a reverse lower Norfair exit to the portal from Leno.
That's going to be tight, but he's got enough time there.
But yeah, the early suits and kind of the divide and conquer of Super Metroid that let them get to that mushroom early, because that was the real bad part about this seed. But doing a forced double dip T-Rock to laser bridge seed with a sub 230, that's a monster time from Stoop's product. I'm digging this this Ganon teleport spot here. It's pretty good. And Jet will need to be careful, but he's through the worst of the Ganon fight. fingers crossed that he can close this one out. I think he has a potion still, but probably is saying no sense in using it. And now MST is into Ice Palace. So they are not committing to Turtle Rock for those boots, because they know that the boots lead to the Ice Rod, and they just don't want to double dip it. And Leno is going to get his mushroom, and I guess if MST is saying, I had the Fire Rod first, I'm ahead, it makes more sense to get you your Fire Rod and send you to Turtle Rock in case it happens to be there versus an Ice Palace. I can see that being, a line that they would want to pursue. But yeah, now MST and Lenophis both have their Fire Rod, and Jet has no more Ganon, so if he can beat the bridge boss, and there he goes. That is a GG for Jet082 and Team Stoop's product. They're going to win this race. Jet finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 41 seconds. Almost cutting that sub 2:30. Really nice job. Hopefully we'll be able to get cross-product and Jet in to chat a little bit about that one. There were some real fortunate things and some real unfortunate things that went down, and it looks like we've at least got cross-product here, so GG Cross. Congrats on the win. Really nice time.
Yeah, it's looking like they're looking for boots, and Leno's on his way to Turtle Rock to get him.
Yeah, they didn't get the mushroom probably until 2:15, 2:18.
Oh wow, and that's Fire Rod.
Yeah,
which is boots.
Yeah, they were, I want to say 30 minutes behind to either of the suits, and got Varia before Gravity. And so just early routing and late suits really set them behind early, and you guys split the workload pretty well. And
yeah, that's what I love about co-op. I can just send Jet to do all this stuff that I hate to check. Like, I hate going into front of escape. It's the worst thing. I just make Jet do it early game while
Here,
I'm
do
cleaning
this
up.
horrible thing.
I was really sad once again, big pink and only 5 power bombs, but at least I had speed booster, so I could save a couple here and there.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Was
We never checked climb supers either because I didn't have enough ammo to get in there.
Yeah, I think Lenophis was the first one through Big Pink, but he only had 5 power bombs and didn't farm the waterway slugs.
Oh yeah,
and didn't do the Spore Spawn Supers check where Varia was. And so how long does it take to get your teammate to go back through and clean up 1 or 2 off locations of power bombs all the way over in Big Pink?
Yeah, Big Pink's one of the farthest spots from any of the cross-world portals.
Yeah, being able to do that, like, just first try and just clean it all out so you never have to go back is the way to go.
Oh, absolutely. Even if it involves, like, farming fire fleas or bee-toms or other frogs or slugs or whatever you need to farm.
Yeah, it's because it's a lot faster to do that than it is to, backtrack.
Absolutely, but at some point,
It's like farming the worms in Sigma and Mega Man X.
Yeah, PB management errors, like, they happen. It happens.
Oh yeah, they've happened to me tons of times, but fortunately with Speed Booster, you don't have to save a power bomb to go back to the Fire Flea room.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that'll get you. Like, if you don't save a power bomb to go back to that farm spot, and then also it means after you farm, you can go back into Big Pink with 5 supers instead of 4, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah. So the only disappointment I have with myself is that I didn't hear Cross tell me there was a sword in Big Pink, because I was there and I could have easily just picked it up. So That's a minor time loss, and maybe I could have sub 230'd if I had actually picked that up.
I didn't even notice that, actually. I think.
You would have had butter
missed
for
that.
Ganon.
Well, I wouldn't have to go because I actually spent time to go to Moat, and then I went down, which I guess wasn't bad because I ended up going to Meridia and basically doing all of Meridia, which was not worth. But that way, Cross didn't have to do it. So in the end, it wasn't too bad. It's just the fact that I went over to Moat to get my second sword, and then I went down into Meridia. Instead, I could have just like whatever. I got a sword. I'm good to go. And maybe I think it would have been different.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that's absolutely right. One of the things I wanted to ask about was cross-product. Your decision to go and do Torian prior to Ganon's Tower. I was kind of surprised. I thought you were going to scout Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, in retrospect,
early.
it was a mistake. I was in Super Metroid mode because I was coming out of Swamp Palace, so I was as close to Dragon as I was ever going to be. And then I was like, all right, I'm in Super Metroid. I may as well finish Super Metroid. But, I mean, I guess I saved time from switching to the Mire before fluting up to Death Mountain. Because if you do Super Metroid first and you take the portal from Parlor, hey, you're already in Light World. So I saved myself a Mire.
The problem is you didn't boost up the team.
The problem is I didn't have high jump boots.
That was a
Mother Brain, which was
decision.
High jump boots would have made a big difference against Mother Brain.
You did use your screw attack very judiciously there through the end of that fight.
Yeah,
I heard he said to me, he's like, I might not have high jump boots, but screw attack is awesome.
Yeah, you can
It
just
was on
screw
full
attack
display.
through the ketchup. You cannot screw attack through onion rings, the blue circles, but you can screw attack through all of Mother Brain's other attacks.
That
And
is an
with Space
interesting
Jump-
piece of knowledge.
With Space Jump, you can just like hide up in the corner, which I think I did at one point. Because if she shoots Meatball Bomb, you just need to stay out of the way of the Meatball Bomb, but then also keep your eyes out for Ketchup. So having Space Jump and Screw Attack just lets you cower up in the corner until the bomb clears.
It's definitely not the lag corner, so what is the top right corner of the Mother Brain room called under those conditions? Is it like the Coward's Corner?
Yeah, sure. It also works if you have Charge Beam. You can pseudo screw Ketchup as well. You can pseudo screw through Ketchup and French Fries, so if you can stay up there with wall jumps or space jump, then you can't get hit when you're in the wall jump animation. Rather, you can get hit while you're in the wall jump animation, so that's what makes it dangerous. But, if you want to do some safer low percent strats, for some reason you want to do low ice and have to shoot Mother Brain 200 times, then, it's a little bit slower, but, you can pseudo screw and keep yourself safe from catch-up.
Yeah, that was definitely what it reminded me of, seeing you do the screw attack usage through the ketchup. It just reminded me of low percent ice and pseudo screwing through ketchup. And so I made the comment that screw attack was acting like a pseudo screw, which got me promptly reprimanded and mocked by
It's
chat.
like fake flippers. Pseudo screw. I have a question for chat, actually. How many people in chat, after seeing the ice rod on the torch in Desert Palace, immediately called boots in Turtle Rock?
Because I know you did.
I don't say that.
As soon as
I was gonna reprimand
Ice
them.
Rod. As
I was
soon
gonna
as he saw it.
I was gonna yell at them for cursing me, but great, you gave away the secret.
There were some boots on PED calls, but I don't think I made the mention of, sending you to Turtle Rock to scout for boots aggressively until it was pretty close to the actual time of that happening. So I don't know if we had any boots on Laser Bridge.
I wanted to do it before I even found Fire Rod, actually, which would have been disastrous.
It would have been a dead dip. It died immediately because the first chest was map. So
Yeah,
it
that's
wouldn't have
true.
been that bad.
But there wasn't anything else in that region for me to get other than checking Hera, I guess. But whatever. Yeah, Pet is dead. Pet. I will tell you that Pedestal was my next check after Turtle Rock.
I mean, makes a lot of sense. I think it was down to that, and then yeah, I mean, rushing Pedestal via Ice Palace and Skullwoods. That seems like a logical sequence, and unfortunately, would have taken longer for longer than your lead over your teammate, and so it would have been hard for you to balance that, especially if Jet had to go the whole way through Ped. But at some level, there's just not much you can do about that stuff.
Yeah, when it's the last item, I mean, really, you hope that it's the person behind that would get it, but there's no way I'm going to waste time checking stuff if he's ahead. And that's why I set him up. Like, if you have to do a double dip at Turtle Rock, it's best if he knows, or if it turns out to not be worth, because that means that's something I completely don't have to do. So
Yeah.
he was doing the checks. I was playing catch up because we knew at that point I was behind.
About 3.5 minutes apart. I think that's actually one of our longer differences.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes, and I think we made the right calls. Like I was saying, having him go up to Turtle Rock and then me playing catch up at that point, that was the correct thing to do.
I agree 100%. I was, looking at it pretty much the exact same way, and I think it's a good call that you guys made for balancing that. I think at one point, Cross was probably ahead by almost 8 minutes, and I think that you closed a lot of that.
Wow, just in superior Link to the Past execution.
Or just because you ratted it for me.
Also, shoutouts to both of you getting the exact same in-game time for Super Metroid.
Yo.
Oh my.
Nice.
That is
I've never seen that.
unplanned.
frame perfect.
Really interesting because we didn't take similar paths whatsoever.
And
I
look
mean,
at the
I did all
total
of
time
Wrecked Ship.
difference.
I did all of Wrecked Ship and none of Meridia, and he did all of Meridia.
Look at the time difference
13
in
minutes.
total, even though we're like 3 minutes behind.
Yeah.
I had more resets than you, I guess.
Yeah, the resets that sort of like get rid of some of that time.
The resets completely break the timer.
Yeah.
That's
So funny though, that
Weird.
SM time.
Yeah, that SM time being calced like that is pretty insane, honestly.
Calculated.
Plan.
Obviously intentional.
Yep. Like, wait, let me hesitate a moment before leaving. No. No idea.
Dude, I think you're like 3 frames ahead on Super Metroid. Just hold up. Conversations that don't actually occur.
I mean, think of it this way too. It was like as easy as Jet going through the escape room there and cross
yeah,
not,
that.
and that's balancing that time. It's crazy how that stuff works.
Yeah. So, had you ever run through that door before when you were doing Super Metroid First Jet?
Run. Oh, wait.
The
Yeah, 'cause
shaft door at Climb.
Right, I never, because I always do Super Metroid last, so I'm just used to, had the pirates there, and then the door's closed, you can't go through, so it doesn't matter if you fire at it. Man, I was just thinking, like, how different it's going to be, and of course there's no pirates when you first get through there, but I'm still firing, because that's just what I do, and then of course I just stop a little too late, and I door transition. That was the worst.
Oh yeah, they are bombable blocks, so I guess you could just speed boost through them. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had a practice run this afternoon, and there's a clip on my channel of me doing Super Metroid first, and I actually shine spark through the door at the bottom of Climb.
So you went the whole way across the next room?
No, I was doing a diagonal shine spark up and to the right.
Oh, okay.
But I actually went through the door. I bonked as soon as I went through the door, but it was pretty funny.
It's still pretty good. I was going to say, I thought you were going to say that you soft locked there because you didn't have bombs or screw attack or speed booster. Because if you're doing Super Metroid first, you absolutely have to have one of those things. Otherwise,
Really? I
you just
thought
can't
that
you can't get through there because they're bomb
Oh, I guess the
blocks.
hyper. Yeah, in the series escape flag isn't set. They're bombable blocks. Yeah.
Yeah, the series escape flag turns them into blocks that just trigger as
Oh
you
my
run
gosh.
through the room to go away.
You. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Wait, can I? Actually, it might not. It might not matter. There might not be. Never mind. Don't worry about me. I'm just musing.
All right. Well, MST just got his boots, so he is on his way to Ice Rod, and Leno's in Ganon's tower, scouting things out. See if he goes right side here. It looks like he's setting up for it, so he will also find the big key quickly. So we will never know what is on the left side of Ganon's tower, I suspect.
Spring ball.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot we didn't see
makes
because
sense.
there's still one item in Skull Woods. There was 3 items in Ice. I don't think you ever turned in Green Pendant,
No.
and we never checked Bombos or Ped. Although there was text, I wasn't paying attention, but the text told us what was at Ped.
It doesn't. It's the credits
Oh,
text
it's
is not
generic
dynamic
still.
text.
Okay.
Oh, spring ball is on cold stare. Dang.
Really?
Or,
Wow. All right, let's start it back up. We got to go get Spring Ball.
Mhm.
I was pretty sad to never see Spring Ball. For a while, you guys had all of the movement items you could have reasonably wanted for Super Metroid, except Spring Ball and High Jump Boots, and then you immediately found High Jump Boots. And
That's what I was counting on, because at that point, I had to go get Space Jump in Rex Ship if I wanted to do worst room in the game. And then, just on my way exploring through Death Mountain, I'm like, oh, I picked up High Jump Boots. We're good now in Super Metroid.
That's true, because Space Jump locked the bombs, so you absolutely would have had to either Space Jump or Spring Ball Jump worst room in the game. Or Charge Ice. You could have Charge Iced it, like low percented it.
I
I
don't
don't know how
that.
to do that.
Yeah, I have a bad experience doing that. I even had plasma.
I
know
always
what?
forget about Charge Ice as a tenable way through that room when I'm thinking about it for myself. Even though it's the only, obscure way through that room that's like actually used in a category.
Cross never rescued the old man on the mountain.
Yeah, forget
Really?
that old man. Last time I saved him, he only gave me $5. I'm sure it was worth a lot more in his day.
It's really neat the things that you can end up skipping just in co-op mode.
Yeah, like I'm 100% sure that I have never had a 1v1 seed or a solo seed that has skipped Old Man.
Right.
Just it would never happen.
I think in combo rando it's slightly more likely, but even with 1v1, you're gonna be up at that. There's no way you're gonna get into go mode before you even visit Death Mountain.
Yeah, like it's just that's not a check that you skip, and it has the saving quit equity of getting you a fast upper Norfair portal, and like I honestly can say I've never skipped it in 1v1 or 2v2, but like the fact that that came up this way is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's see. I guess you guys next get the loser of the Team Wildcard versus Snappy's Hawaiian Host matchup, right?
Yep.
So how do you feel about either of those potential matchups?
That's Keiku's team, right?
Yeah, Snappy's Hawaiian Host,
Zosti and
Zost?
Keiko.
Kekuman Shoyu, and Zost. And then Wildcard is Alucard 2004.
We know
and
Wildcard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more for chat than for y'all. I know that you're certainly aware of them.
Yeah,
I
Allo and
wanna
Wild
say-
we actually practice against. That's why we know who they are. We've had a number of practice matches against them. They're very strong. Definitely one of the. I would consider them one of the top teams of this tournament.
Absolutely.
I was watching a practice of theirs. They hit a 203 and a 207 the other day.
Like we average around the 240 mark.
That's scary.
Yeah. This might have been one of our fastest times actually in 2v2. What do you think, Cross?
Which
I
that's
usually
insane.
expect like 2.5.
Yeah, that you were pushing 2.5 on this seed with basically bootsless double dip T-Rock
Yeah.
is pretty absurd. Like I'm really wowed by this time. I think you guys did a great job.
Well, I'll say this: Team Wildcard are good friends of ours, so I want them to win, but I hope they lose because I want to face them in the tournament, and this will probably be the only chance we have to do it. So
Hey, no. If they don't lose, they're going all the way. Come on, be positive.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us versus Zeus.
We're going all the way. Everyone's going all the way. Let's do this.
I believe more in them than us.
I mean, I've got my fingers crossed that if Solsky and I play our matches better than we've played our past few matches, that we might even have a shot to play against y'all coming up here in a few rounds.
Yeah, I was looking at that. You guys could be coming up too.
I think you beat both of us in the 1v1 tournament, so we need to take it down.
That is factually correct. Now that you point that out.
Wait, there's a 1v1
so
tournament?
I think I might be owed one. So yeah, you guys put a hit out on me and come see me in the losers bracket. That'd be fun. I would be super happy to have that matchup. Honestly, you guys are both a blast to play against.
Thanks.
We gotta make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do my
Our
part.
next matchup, regardless, is gonna be tough. Like,
Yeah.
Either it's Team Wildcard or Zost and Keiko. Like, either way, it's sort of scary.
Yeah.
Although we came within, we were within less than 10 minutes of Team Farts. So who knows? Anything's possible.
Yeah, Fart's also a good team. All the teams that are left at this point are quality teams. I see Sloter's 27 of Gegar Gang in chat here. I have to contend with them next. So we'll see if Solsky and I can handle the dynamo of Sloters and Sephi. That'll be a lot of fun. That's a matchup that I wanted from day one. So all these matchups I'm excited about. All the teams are great, and everyone's been a blast to play against. But yeah, anyone who's still in this tournament. I think we had 16 teams, and we're down to, I think, like 7 or 8 left at this point. And so it's, the cream rising to the top, I think, in homage to Zost and Keku still being in this tournament. But Leno has gotten through his Agatu, going to be dropping in on Ganon, and MST not far behind, just about to start his Ganon's Tower adventure. So they will also be getting good times. Leno looking like, reasonably a low 3-hour time, and MST not far behind. So
Speaking of
Yeah, that's
dropping,
free
I'm
time.
gonna head on out of the call. Thank you very much for commentating Maniacal and Solsky. Thank you so much for the restreamers, and I know we had some last-minute tracker volunteers as well, so shout-outs to those guys.
yeah, big
Show them
props
some love.
actually. Just HK112 doing the 4-way tracking.
Yeah, stepping up at the
Wow,
last
By
minute,
his
that's really
works,
cool.
Stepping up, yeah. And has done an excellent job. So
All right, have a good night, guys.
what a great
night.
guy. And yeah, thank you, Cross, for coming in. And likewise, Jet, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And you're more than welcome to continue sticking around.
Yeah, I'll sit and chat. But just like Cross said, thank you guys for commentating, tracking, restreaming. Look forward to more matches.
Yeah, definitely GG to both you guys. That was a team that puts anyone who gets to play you guys next on notice with that time. Sub 230 is hard to come by in this.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we have Leno on to phase 3 of Ganon. And they're the silver arrows in Brinstar. We did, of course, find them. Ganon finding that out. They were at the early Supers location today. And using a hybrid strat here. Combination of fire rod shots and torch shots and silverless hits. And he's got all the hybrid tech here, but Ganon is dead. So that's going to be a first G for Lenophis and MST into upstairs of Ganon's tower. So far so good on his front as well. And looks like Leno is going to mirror, and we'll see. It looks like he might be fluting to 4 and taking the intergame portal. No, he's going to 3. Or no, oh, there's 4. Okay. I thought he selected 3. I was going to be real confused for a second. But yeah, he is going to take the intergame portal back to Parlor from the Fortune Tellers up by Link's house to make his way over to Torian. And seeing his health, I'm thinking he might be wishing that he had saved and quit and hard reset to the ship, because he's going to go to the ship and take that refill anyway. Oh, no. Has he not done Phantoon? Where is he going?
Yeah, he hasn't done Phantoon yet.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got a little confused.
Yeah, he originally dipped in here just for his tempered, and then he bailed.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, Phantoon is such an easy in and out check when there's nothing required in upper rect ship. So it would make sense for him to save this until last. But that is going to help even out the time and make his and MST's finishes that much closer. So good balancing by those guys. I thought that he was a little farther ahead than he actually was. And we get to enjoy one last Phantoon fight, and no X-Ray, so it's going to be probably at least a 2-rounder. Oh, round 1. Phantoon winning round 1, still at 2,500 health. And looks like Leno's setting up for the 2-round of 2 missiles, and a charged plasma shot. That'll get you 1,300 damage. Phantoon with 2,500 health can take 2 missiles and a full charge shot only twice and is dead. So nice cleaning up on that fight there by Leno. And MST into Wizrobes 1, about to go and showcase the Canis Maria strats here on Wizrobes 2, see if he can nail this one. So far, so good, and yep, got it perfectly. And the map check there from Leno. Definitely not intended. But I think we'll probably see him take a ship refill for health here, but he might leave it up to the Metroids. We'll see. He's going to spark, so I don't know that he has enough health to make this Ocean Spark.
Just enough.
Oh, wow. Hit the door at 30. That spark would have stopped itself at 29, so he did have more than enough health. How wrong I was. But yeah, for anyone who's just joining and seeing kind of the disparity in finish times here, Team Fail guys on the left here played a very good race. Did a good job, and just got trolled by suit locations, and those led pretty directly to a pretty convoluted item chain of Ridley having the mushroom, which led to the fire rod, which led to laser bridge boots that got you the ice rod from Desert Torch. And that's the sort of thing that, you don't plan for. Or you don't always plan for. And so that they're finishing here in the 3 hour to 3:10 range is still a solid time on what was a challenging seed. It's just Stoop's product on the right absolutely killed it this race. Really good race from those guys. And these Aga clones are getting a little desynced, but this is a good arrangement, and was able to clean up. I think he ended up getting the 4 cycle out of that one, which was good considering those Aga images were getting a little desynced, and once that happens, that fight can really go sideways. But yeah, I see MST sharing some words of dislike for the seed. This was not a kind one to how they ended up routing this one. They missed Varia in Big Pink and Gravity in the front of Escape, both locations that are somewhat easy to miss. The Big Pink one more so with low power bombs like they had, just for ammo management. But those small errors just being sort of maximum punishment. And pretty good Firebat dodges there from MST, kind of walking a whole clockwise cycle and avoiding damages. He is into Ganon 3, as Leno is setting up to get drained by the baby Metroid. Facing right, saving his time as well. And I'm excited that these guys are finishing their run out, honestly. I'm always a fan of seeing folks finish their races. So big props to Team Fail guys for taking time to finish. A nice Fire Rod Torch glitch from MST, and a Crystal Flash from Leno to save a little bit of time from the refill. So good display by both players. They, as we said, are playing very well, playing a good race, and so show these guys some support. Go give them a follow. Also follow Team Stoop's product, Cross Product, and Jet082. All of these fine folks do a good amount of this crossover rando if you want to see more of that. And MST using some arrows on the doorway to the Triforce room, not actually able to go and collect his Triforce. A little jebaited there. Have to feel a little sad for Link. Spent all that time killing Ganon, heading for the Triforce room, only to get put back at the top of the pyramid, getting Groundhog Day'd a little bit. But Leno, on to his Mother Brain 2 fight. has 7 E-Tanks, so we'll see if he's able to keep his health high enough to get a stand-up glitch in. Crossproduct had, I think, 4 E-Tanks plus reserves, and Jet had 6 plus reserves. So neither of them were able to go for a stand-up glitch, and so Leno might be our only hope of a stand-up glitch, or rather, Health Light Seed. We see MST heading to Torian with only 5 tanks as well. So, close on that catch-up, but it looks like he will be in good shape for this stand-up if he decides to go for it. His health is in range.
I think we'll go for it.
I want to see him go for it for sure. I am a big fan of stand-up glitch, as a fan of 100%, and he did unequip his Varia Suit, and he was almost a little slow there, those onion rings coming in hot, but his health is fine. And so yeah, he does have stand-up glitch, so that'll be fun to watch there as MST starts to go through Metroids 1 through 4 here at the top of Torian. So not all that far apart for these guys either.
Now, could Metroid go for stand-up by manipulating the reserves?
No, because you need to have 700 health. Well, there is a task way that I don't fully understand to get stand-up out of 3 E-Tanks or something like that. That I've seen in one of the Snick and Total tasks that I definitely don't understand, but I don't think it's RTA viable. I'm sure if ED is still here, he'd be able to comment on that. Oh, and there's ED saying it's a Shine Spark. And so I don't believe that we will have seen him. So he would have needed to get a spike suit somewhere that that would have been, I guess, after Baby Skip, because it would have saved more time to use on Baby Skip than to use on Stand-Up Glitch, if I'm remembering correctly.
Nice Baby Skip from Metroid here.
Yeah, got his Baby Skip saved, 20-some seconds, as Leno is onto his escape, but MST is going to close the gap a little bit. But very, very cool knowledge there in chat about how exactly that would work. I don't fully understand all of it because I'm scrubbed here at Super Metroid and don't have that knowledge. But
I mean,
for anyone interested, yeah, I mean, you have to deal with me at Super Metroid all the time. I can't even wall jump into Gauntlet. It's bad. Yeah, so this will be the final escape of the tournament for Lenophis here. We'll see if he decides to visit the animals or if he lets them rot like a good speedrunner. And yeah, he's blowing right by. Frames are important.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. Forget that.
Yeah, get ready for your GG for Lenophis here in the chat. He has escaped the tournament as cross product.
Please.
The savagery is fresh. I appreciate it. But no, GG to Lenophis. Nice to see, finishing up with a 3:08:18 official SRL time. And just taking a look at the challenge bracket, I believe Fail Guys were top 8 in this tournament. I think there are 8 teams left right now. So yeah, this was they will have a top 8 finish out of a really competitive field of 16 teams in this tournament. So much respect to Lenophis and MetroidMst. And thanks again to those guys for finishing their race out. But yeah, no stand up here for MST as we knew, because only 5 E-tanks. So he will get to wait this one out and then do a Mother Brain 3 and an escape, and we'll be lining up for probably a 3:12, 3:13 time. And so a good time, and I believe that we have been joined by Lenophis. GG, Leno.
Hi. Hello. I want to start out by apologizing for my stream quality. Apparently, my internet decided it did not want to work in time for the race.
Yeah, it stayed up,
I
though.
dropped my stream that would help alleviate. Yeah, it did. I'm dropping 21% of my frames.
Yeah, it chopped a little, and it's chopping a little right now, but other than missing a handful of item locations, we could, mostly tell what you were doing, and if you watch it back, we had some fun with it, but
like we were really impressed
good.
with the microwave strats at Vitreous, that's for sure.
Yeah. MST was microwaving Dragon at the same time you were microwaving Vitreous, and it was on point.
PowerPoint presentation 2.0.
It was excellent.
All right.
So
it was.
MST is in
so we lost by we lost by 40 minutes. So I'm guessing they must have dove Turtle Rock really early.
Honestly, the 40 minutes might be the margin of finding the suits. They had both suits very, very early.
We figured they would because Gravity was at the Zelda's dungeon, and I was worried about soft locking myself behind Spore Spawn. Otherwise, I would have found Varia very early. But I just had the one power bomb left. I wasn't sure if I was going to get a drop. I wasn't going to try and count on it. So I just figured, okay, whatever it is, I'll come back for it.
Yeah, and it just unfortunately that one skip until MST got back there and found Varia. They had Varia and Gravity in pretty rapid succession early. Okay. And so they were able to split and kind of divide and conquer and get into Meridia and lower Norfair early. And so it just cascaded from there. You guys did a really good job of, splitting things and staying within the logic and recognizing that you broke that glove and didn't chase your glove until you found Varia and got into Dark World and did a good job with it. And their MST is finished up with an official time of 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 35 seconds. So GG to Shy Guy, who has also joined us. So welcome.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight.
It was not the best seed that I have ever seen.
No, it definitely wasn't.
But it was a fun one, and you guys did a really good job with it, honestly.
I almost was heading up for a blind ped pool until he found the boots on that stupid bridge.
Yeah, and that was the right play, honestly. I mean, that was what you guys were lined up to do.
I thought that spring ball would get us victory, but I think cross dot done immediately after I got it. I was like, well. So.
And he did a dot time. That must have been a G4 dot time or something.
Yeah, no, that was a very interesting seed. As far as the seed goes, that was interesting. The progression was really, honestly, I think probably one of my favorites as far as the logical progression.
It
before
was
a race. That was
crazy with
interesting.
that mushroom. And you guys just kept, because the suits were so late, then you had other stuff to do, and you kept avoiding Lower Norfair. Like, you were both in the Mire and desert area, and so close to making the play to Ridley. And yet so far.
I had space jump, so I was checking the gold Trezo items. So I was like, while I'm here, I'm next to this portal. Because when I got the flute, I forgot to activate it when I left Thieves Town, which was my original plan. So I was like, I better enter here now, get rid of Mire and desert, and hope I find something. I found the wrong thing on the torch, though, so that was disappointing.
I was
Yeah.
personally waiting for high jumps to appear so I could try and do a lava dive, and then he made the discovery that, oh, bombs are at GT missile. Okay, need space jump. Rip that. So,
Yeah,
a lot of things just didn't work out in terms of discovery.
Yeah, things fell in kind of the absolute worst case for you guys, whereas Cross and Jet, the way they routed it and divided it, the items just fell the way that they needed to for them.
Yeah, it's kind of what I gathered from the times they pulled on that. Like,
That's
it
an
felt
insane
like,
time.
Yeah, it felt like we were making progress the whole time, and that was the problem. Because we felt we were getting places, we were getting items, we were able to complete more and more, and then it came down to, hey, we need 3 items. It's like, hey, I know where 1 item is, but now we need 2.
Yeah, when you guys found Varia and knew the glove was behind Varia, and that opened up all of Dark World to you guys, instead of, who would go to Front of Escape bootless at that point? It's not high on anyone's list.
Yeah, it was.
And so, just gravity was really buried deep in there if you missed it early, and it sucks that it showed up in such an early sphere, but you guys were able to get around it into a whole bunch of other stuff, because Lower Norfair was literally just the mushroom for just the fire rod, and that was all that was shut off to you guys.
Yep, and Meridia was literally nothing. There was literally nothing in Meridia either.
And so nothing was actually behind gravity except for your ability to actually go and do stuff.
Yeah, it was turned out to be a bad thing that we were progressing as much as we did, which is honestly kind of the reason I like the logic of this, because stuff like that happens. I felt pretty good for a while there until I found Ice Rod.
Yeah, I can tell you, more than a handful of times that I've been burnt by logic going really, really deep and just missing 1 item in sphere 1 or 2 of the logic, and that being the linchpin of the seed. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, but no, definitely congrats to Cross and Jet, though. They clearly did that one way more better, or I can English good, way more better.
Let's go with that. they did a really good job with the seed, honestly, but you guys did a fine job as well. It was just getting punished by those late suits. And I think that the decisions you made at each juncture with the information you had were almost always the correct decision, and that's just the way that these play out sometimes.
It let us down. Our goal has been the whole time just to get sub 3 hours on these seeds, and I was, despite both of us, I think Leno had a death and then I had a soft lock, so we both had to recollect Varia, or the power gloves or whatever. Despite that, I thought we were really on pace to cut 3 hours, and then it's like, nope.
Yeah. That logic chain at the back end of the seed, you guys played, your execution was absolutely sub 3 hour pace and execution, and this one just wasn't. It was not giving it up.
No, it clearly wasn't. That was it hung on for dear life, and it quoted Charlton Heston. You can take the sub 3 hours from my cold dead hands.
And some would say you did. But Yeah, it was a fun race to watch, honestly. So GG to you guys, and GG also to Team Stoop's product. I know I really enjoyed it, and I hope Solsky did as well, and I hope chat. Also, our tracker HK112 who stepped in last minute. I think we all had a blast.
Yeah, I'm glad that was a fun one to play. But
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think this unfortunately spells the end of the tournament for you guys, but
yes,
you did finish among the top 8 teams of the 16-team field, so a really respectable finish.
we
a
are
lot of good
actually.
teams.
Oh. Nice.
So
I'm
even
okay
though
with
we are done, I'm okay with that kind of finish. We'll get it next time. We will get it next time.
We got further than Elm. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you guys
Thank you for that, Maniacal.
Spoilers.
Thank you for
throw in the daggers. Blame Maniacal, clearly. No one blames Solsky. What the hell is this? Everyone thanks Solsky and blames me. What a team.
Well, when Solsky races like Elm 5 times in a week, then it'll be time. But no, this was a really fun. I really like the tournament. It's really like this crossover randomizer. I highly recommend for anyone watching, to try this out. It's personally made me had to learn a lot more about Zelda specifically. I mean, you can't tell by my username, but I'm much more a Metroid player. And I've watched a lot of randomizer tournaments of Zelda. Actually, most of my knowledge comes from just watching those that have been held on Speed Gaming. And it's fun to play that, kind of figure out the logic, learn some different strats and all that fun stuff. It's really interesting. I highly recommend more people get into this because it's really fun.
Yeah, I'll echo that and just say that I'm so happy to see folks that I know from the Super Metroid side of things getting into this, and folks that I know from the Link to the Past side of things getting into this, and just seeing the two communities come together and really appreciate what is a fantastic randomizer game. So anyone out there thinking about it, listen to Shy Guy and pick this up. He's wrong about a lot, but not this. And so, give this a try. There's a really good Discord community of folks and people constantly racing this, not just in tournament settings. And so it is 100% worth the effort.
And keep some hype up for when the Key Sanity version comes out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It is incoming, and never a better time to start cutting your teeth if you want to get ready for that.
Do it now.
Because this is already a doozy to process, and when it goes Key Sanity, it is going to be
That's
brutal. That might be like the end game. So I know we'll find ways to innovate past that. Sorry,
that's
Leno,
when
I think
sub 5 hours will be the dream.
Yeah, I feel like people are like crossing their fingers for the
I
sub
think I still have internet issues. That's when sub 5 hours.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Shack Tool will hold the Swamp Palace key every time, guaranteed.
Now I'm a lot less excited for this.
Okay, forget what I just said.
So I will absolutely jam that game. That would be fun. But yeah, GG, Lenophis and Shy Guy. Any last thoughts for you guys while we wind this one down?
Pedestal will hold the key to unlocking Ridley's door.
Yeah, I just want to say GG's again to I keep wanting to say crossproduct, Soup's product, the team name.
In terms of gameplay, it's just a matter of gotta execute better. I personally just have to be better, but I'm still gonna have a lot of fun.
Yep. It takes to Leno for being my teammate, putting up with a inferior player in both games. Having to carry in both games. That's not exactly fun.
You guys both played really well, so it was a joy to watch, and I look forward to seeing you guys doing more co-op in this. I know I've had a blast with it. I think every team that I've talked to has had a real good time with this one. Very few grumbles all along, lots of goodwill.
I would say so.
Yeah, thank you for coming by and chatting, and congratulations on finishing that seat up. That was quite a doozy there at the end.
Yeah, no. Thanks to the tournament hosts, the organizers, and for Speed Gaming here for hosting the tournament. It was really fun. I look forward to the next one.
Absolutely, and I'll say thank you again to Lenophis and Shy Guy for coming by and chatting post-race after quite a long one, and GG again to crossproduct and Jet082 for also coming by and chatting, and congratulations to them. They will be advancing to face the loser of Team Wildcard versus Team Snappy's Hawaiian Host. So watch out for that match. That's going to be coming up. And thank you to Solsky for putting up with me and my love for Shaq Tool for the past 4 hours. And thanks to HK112 for coming in and tracking on very late notice. He did an excellent, excellent job. If you aren't yet, one last reminder, go follow the runners. They all came out and earned it. All great dudes. And I will let Solsky take it home for us. I've been Maniacal. Thank y'all.
Bye.